Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR Cougar College Radio. It's Smith Slye, joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth today in Bowler Gym. Connor, go ahead and test your microphone real quick.
Yeah, 1, 2, test. How's it going today, Smith? Honestly, I'm really excited for this matchup. First game calling for KUGR. I've been following this volleyball team all year. Excited to get underway with it, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Game time is 7 p.m. tonight. It is 6:30 at the moment, so we will go on for our pregame show probably around 6:50, 6:55. So if you're waiting for game time, please stick around until about 6:50, 6:55. We will hop on for our pregame show, pause for the national anthem and roster announcements, and then be back on for the first serve of this WCC matchup. The Cougs playing against the Portland Pilots on senior nights at home in Bowler Gym. Again, it's Smith Slye, joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth. We'll be right back. Please stay with us.
This is a KUGR sports production.
Good pass down low to Erickstrup, and he scores off the glass.
Giving you play-by-play coverage of all your favorite WSU athletics.
He doesn't get it! He's stuck at the line!
Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and more.
Absolutely electrifying play from Washington State to get him right back in this game.
Follow us on YouTube at KUGR Sports to listen to every game live.
What a play! What a kill by Brewstad!
Never miss a moment with the best in the West. KUGR, the student voice of the Palouse.
Gets the Cougs on the board with less than 20 seconds remaining in this first period. Here come the Cougs.
And now, on to the game.
You're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR. Kylie Wong, Taryn Freeling, Cameron Lingenbrink, Melina Christodoulou, and who can forget Kanaya Cleveland. These are the 5 names that the Cougs are honoring tonight in their senior night in Bowler Gym. The Cougs taking on the University of Portland in their last home game of the season in Bowler on the Palouse before they head on the road to close out their season. You're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR, Cougar College Radio. Smith Slye joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth. Conner, what are we expecting? What are we looking forward to in this WCC matchup?
You know, I think the biggest thing for really both these teams is going to have to be offensively. You know, especially when you look at a team like the Portland Pilots right now in the WCC, they are one of controversially the worst teams defensively. They're 11th out of 12 teams in total blocks, dead last in solo blocks, and they have the 3rd most reception errors. However, they're also the only team in WCC to have 3 hitters with over 250 kills. As for the Cougars, they have 3 players with over 250 kills, and that also includes Lucy Blaskova, who has the highest hitting percentage at 456 in the WCC. However, on the other side of the court, if you're Lucy Blaskova, you also have to worry about Taina Kawai, who right now is 3rd in the WCC with hitting 3 or .378. And really, I'm intrigued to see how, you know, the battle at the net will look, especially with middle blocker Kawhi and then also Blaskova. You know, Blaskova does have a 2-inch advantage over Kawhi in terms of height. However, you know, you also have to look at the outsides too. You know, like I said, I mentioned Eliana Tia earlier. You have graduate student Melina Christodoulou, who will be represented on the senior night. But then, yeah, if you're Portland, you have Maui Robbins, who has 269 kills, 12th in WCC. You have Lucia Busso, who has 258, which is 14th. And then you also have Ellen Larson, who has 284, which is 10th.
Absolutely. The University of Portland Pilots, not necessarily the best team in WCC, but better than the 2 teams that the Cougs have coming off playing. They played the Gonzaga Bulldogs, then they swept the Redhawks. They pulled out the brooms on them back in Boulder just a little bit ago. So now they're playing against the University of Portland Pilots. They are 12-14 overall in the year, 7-8 in conference, which sits them snugly at 6th place in the WCC. But they are no team you can just kind of shrug off. They did take San Diego to 5 sets in their last matchup coming into this game. So they are a team that at times can hold their own, can really throw their weight around with some of the biggest teams in the conference. But then for the Cougs, this is definitely a bittersweet matchup. They are 16-8 overall in the year, 10-4 in conference, a good conference record, but not enough to break into the top 3. So they are sat at 4th place in WCC. So they will be on the outside looking in for the WCC tournament, which is, again, a little bittersweet if you're Kylie Wong, if you're Taryn Vreeling, if you're Melina Christodoulou, Cameron Lingenbrink, Kanaya Cleveland. Your last year as a Coug, maybe the last time you play in your collegiate career, you will not make it to the postseason. It's a tough one for the Cougs, tough pill for them to swallow at times. But they're looking to get a win in the WCC tonight against the University of Portland Pilots before they head on the road for their last 3 games of the season. Closing out the schedule, they'll play against St. Mary's this Saturday. Then next Wednesday, they'll play at Santa Clara. And to close out the year on the 29th, they will play against the University of San Francisco Dons. So we are about to head to the national anthem and roster announcements here in Bowler Gym. Again, you're listening to Cougar Radio for Cougar Volleyball. Don't you dare go away. We'll be right back. The Cougs will start tonight rolling out the senior, Taryn Vreeling, followed up closely by the new guard, the freshman, Eliana Tia. Then, of course, you got Cameron Lingenbrink, the graduate students. Then Maddie Joswick, another member of the new guard, a freshman on this team. And then you got Lucy Blaskova, the redshirt sophomore out of Keska Trebova, Czech Republic. And then shocking nobody, Italia Bernal, the sophomore setter from Mexico. And also you got Tino Galmez, the sophomore libero from Spain, in a move that had us up in the broadcast booth a little bit to our chagrin. Kanaya Cleveland is not starting for the Cougs, unfortunately. So interesting move there from Corey Schrader not to put in Kanaya Cleveland.
Yeah, definitely. It's senior night. I expected him to at least put all the seniors, even if it was just for 1 point. And also interesting that he's starting Eliana Tia over Melina Christodoulou. It's because, not only is, not only is Christodoulou a graduate student, but Tia only has 2 kills in her last 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
She hit under 100 last game, so maybe he's just trying to bolster her confidence heading into this match, get her back up. You said that she was due for 1, but
absolutely,
still a little bit interesting how she's not also starting Melina Christodoulou.
Definitely a good day, a good matchup for Eliana Tia to get back on the dominant reign that she's had so far, just as a freshman. 200 kills so far this year, 116 digs, 48 blocks, and ranks her 3rd on the team. Of course, number 1 on the Cougs is who else but the 6'3" Lucy Blaskova, 109 blocks this year. As back to the service line, Havana Hoft for the Portland Pilots. The first serve of this game is underway. Sit back and enjoy this one. Bernal will set it up for Eliana Tia, who hits it. Bumped up by the Pilots to the middle. Have to play it off the net. Kept up. They'll give a free ball for the Cougs. Lingenbrink to Bernal. Over to the left side. Vreeling, who just dumps it in, but it's kept up by the Pilots. Read that play. A little dump there, kept up by Eliana Tia. Bernal to the left side for Vreeling yet again. Another dump, but kept up again by the Pilots. Set to the right side. Hit off the arms, out of bounds. The Pilots open up this matchup and take a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, what a long rally back and forth between those two teams. You typically don't see the first point of a set going that far, but who else but Lucia Busso?
Vreeling got denied 2 times there as Hoft is back to serve yet again. This serve bumped up by Vreeling to the middle for Bernal. Set up quickly for Liebenbrink, who puts a dump, and it works. A little chaos volleyball there. Just rattles off the arms and hits the hardwood.
Yeah, and I don't think I don't think Nevaeh Bray was ready for that one. She was shifting over to her left, and it just kind of went right down in the middle, so she had to try to readjust at the last second. Got her right hand up on it, but not enough to keep it up for the Pilots.
Galmez back to serve for the first time tonight for the Cougs. 1-1. Bumped up by the Pilots. Set by Heft over to the right side. Hit well out of bounds. An attack error there from Ellen Larson, the kill leader on the Pilots. She's got 284 so far this year, and another senior on that Pilot squad.
Yeah, I was surprised to see her hit that one a little far, but that's her 113th attack error this season.
2-1. The Cougs lead in the first sets. Galmez's serve just clears the wire. Bounced up by Woodward Hart. Set to the left side. Hit. Blocked. Denied. Eliana Tia gets the arms to it. What a block by the freshman.
Yeah, you talk about wanting to get her confidence up. What a way to do it. And she also combined with that block with Lucy Blaskova. I interviewed her one time. She said her favorite thing is to get blocks.
Galmez back to serve yet again. Cougars lead it 3-1 in the first sets. Galmez's serve just tips over the wire. Sets by Hoft. Off the arms and blocked. A solo block. Lucy Blaskova says no at the wire.
What a block that was. Had the Portland Pilots hit that one immediate right at her arms and just nowhere else to go but down.
Tino Galmez to serve yet again. She's the service ace leader for the Cougs. That ball just tips over the wire yet again. Hoft set to the left side, off the arms, and kept up by Woodward Hart. She tried to dive to keep it up, but it touches down in the paint. The Pilots can't survive it.
Yeah, and you want to talk about Tina Galmez having a great performance serving so far in this match. You got to mention her last match when she had 5 service aces in that match against Seattle University.
Galmez from Spain. She played on the Spanish national team before heading to the Palouse. Serve gets over the net, bumped up by Larson. Hoft over to the right side for Larson, who just muscles it down, almost palmed that ball like a basketball, and gets the second point for the Pilots tonight.
Yeah, Maddie Joswick tried to lay out for that one, had her entire body extended, but great placement there by Larson. And Pilots back on the board for the second time tonight.
She got the kill, and now she's back to serve. Larson trying to get some momentum back for the Pilots. Throws it up. Here it is. Just gets over the wire, and it touches down. Service ace for Larson. Some lucky volleyball there to get point number 3 for the Pilots.
Yeah, typically teams do not practice that type of serve, but you take what you can get. A little luck there, but 2-0 run right now for the Pilots.
Larson to serve yet again. 5-3. The Cougars lead it. Bumped up by Joswick. Bernal to the left side for Vreeling, and it's a kill. Vreeling, a firecracker off the arm. Point number 6 for the Cougs.
Yeah, Vreeling has a cannon of an arm, but that's the one thing, one knock on her sometimes, is that it's kind of a double-edged sword. Yes, she can hit the ball very hard, and if she connects, it's probably going to be a kill, but sometimes she hits it too far, and that can cause the Cougs to lose some points. But great job on that point, keeping it in play.
Vreeling, 2 years at the University of Idaho before transferring to the Cougs. This serve is received by the Pilots. A little bit of an ugly play there, but free ball for the Cougs. Set to the left side for Vreeling. Off the arms, kept up by Joswick. Way to keep that ball alive. Vreeling again. We'll try it again. It's kept up again by the Cougs. Set to the right side. Let's try this. Off the hands and onto the hardwood. Blazkova, pardon me, that was Mary Healy actually on the right side, who was just able to get it off the hands and onto the hardwood.
Yeah, she just got subbed in, first play in. She makes an immediate impact. Cougars lead 7-3.
You're wondering why I confused her with Blazkova. It's because they're both some of the tallest members on this team and look kind of identical. Serve from Ward is bumped up by Woodward Hartz. Bumped again to the left side as they just dump it over, but it's kept up by Ward, who had to dive to make that play. Vreeling off the arms and out of bounds, but it'll be a point for the Pilots as she just missed the hands of the Pilots who went up to block.
Yeah, she hit that one a little too high, a little too far. That one sailed on her, and Pilots get another point, 7-4.
The sophomore libero, Tanoa Woodward Hart for the Pilots. 277 digs coming into this matchup. Her serve gets over the net, bumped up by Vreeling. Set by Ward to the left side for Mary Healy, and it's received by the Pilots. They survive it. Back to the right side, off the hands of Mary Healy. Bumped up by Blazkova. She'll just put a dump on it. It's kept up. Yes, it is, by the Pilots. Woodward Hartz to the left side. They'll just set it over. A free ball for the Cougs. Galmez to the left side for Mary Healy. Bumped up again by Woodward Hart. She's able to dig that up. That hit off the arms of the Cougs. They'll survive it. Set to the left side for Healy. Puts a dump, and it hits the hardwood. What a play. Defensive play for the Pilots to get points. Number 5.
Yeah, we talked about going into this match. The Portland Pilots were going to need to play better defensively. Came in pretty low on blocks. I think 11th in the WCC in total blocks. But good job getting a block on that point.
7-5. The Cougars still lead it. Hart serve gets over the nets. Joust at the nets, and the Pilots win it. Ill received there by Vreeling, and the Pilots are able to just muscle that ball down to the ground.
Yeah, 5'11" Maui Robbins, the height might be a little deceiving because she got up there and basically got that kill and / block. 7-6, Cougars lead.
Woodward Hart, another serve, bumped up by Vreeling. Set, a setter dump, and it's somehow kept up. The Pilots are able to dig that up, and that hit sails out of bounds. The Cougs come away with a point there after a bizarre series of events. 8-6, the Cougars lead it in this first set.
Yeah, Olivia Ward, I thought she was about to have her 20th kill this season. She does that at least 1 to 2 times a game. She does a dump set. Almost worked, but still worked out eventually in the Cougs' favor.
That's her specialty as Vreeling's back to the service line. Serves it over, bumped up. Woodward Hart has to set it to the middle. A heavy hit off the hands, out of bounds. What a kill there from the Pilots. 8-7. The Cougars still lead it, but the Pilots climb their way back into this first set. Back to serve. Lucia Busso, the senior from Italy. 6 feet tall, outside hitter. Her serve, bumped up by Christodoulou. Set to the right side for Healy. Heavy hit off the arms, blocked, shut down, and denied by Maui Robinson, the senior outside hitter from Hawaii.
Had 36 total blocks coming into this match. Got a big one there, and that ties the game up at 8. It could possibly shift momentum here in this first set.
Busso back to serve for the Pilots. We're tied up 8-8. And number 8 back to serve as well. The serve is bumped up by Christodoulou. Back over to Christodoulou for the left side and shut down at the net. No, it touches down on the Pilot side. They'll give this point to the Cougs. 9-8. The Cougars take the lead.
Yeah, Smith, I thought it hit the front side of the net. I thought it was going to be attack here. I didn't even think that the Pilots touch it. Turns out from our view, kind of messed that one up. It barely got over the net. Great positioning there.
Cougars back to serve. Blazkova gets it over. Bumped up by the Pilots. Bit of ugly play here. They just have to hand a free ball for the Cougs. Olivia Ward, quick set to Cameron Lingenbrink, and the Pilots just can't handle it. A bit of a soft hit, and it catches the Pilots sleeping.
Cameron Lingenbrink just tips that one over. Beautiful placement. Sometimes it's not always about how hard you can hit it. Sometimes it's just about placement, especially with a team that's not the best in blocks. You can do either, but Cameron Lingenbrink finds a way to get a kill.
Blaskova to serve yet again. Received by the Pilots. Set quickly. A little dump that's bumped up there by Blaskova. Set quickly to Cameron Lingenbrink. Off the arms and onto the hardwood. Cameron Lingenbrink gets the kill. 11-8. The Cougars lead it in set number 1.
Yeah, and Cameron Lingenbrink, that's now her 3rd kill of the match. Cougars now up 11-8.
Blaskova back to serve yet again. 6'3" out of the Czech Republic. Bumped up by Woodward Hart. Set quickly. A setter dump, and they can't keep it up. Blaskova laid out to try and keep it up, but just doesn't work. 11-9. The Cougars still leading in the first set.
Yeah, Havana Hof, not necessarily known for her kills. That's only her 53rd kill. She has over 828 assists on the season, but every once in a while, you just got to throw one at them.
Maui Robbins back to serve for the Pilots. Bumped up by Healy to the middle. Olivia Ward, quick set off the hands and out of bounds. They will get the call, and it's a point for the Cougs. Cameron Lingenbrink there for the kill.
Yeah, I want to see if they're going to challenge that because it was awfully close. I don't think so. I think head coach for the Pilots, Megan Burton, won't challenge that one, but it was close. But yeah, Cameron Lingenbrink continues to make an impact, getting her 4th kill of the match. Cougars up 12-9.
Natalia Bernal, the sophomore from Mexico, to the service line. This ball touches down. A service ace for Natalia Bernal as the Portland Pilots miscommunication on that play there.
Yeah, Natalia Bernal is arguably the Cougars' 2nd best service hitter for the Cougs. That's her 28th service ace of the season.
Her 2nd serve just touches over the wire, bumped up by Hart to the left side. For a spike that's blocked by the Cougs, kept up yet again by the Pilots. Woodward Hart back to the right side. We'll try it again. Bumped up by Bernal. Tia to the left side for Christodoulou, who has to just knuckle it over. Pilots are going to try and set something up here to the middle. They'll hand a free ball for the Cougs. Yalmez to the middle for Bernal. Set over to the left side. Christodoulou, it touches down. Christodoulou, not the heaviest hit, but it'll work. 14-9. The Cougars leading in the first set.
Yeah, and one addition, Melina Christodoulou has been for this Cougar team, even though obviously it's her first and only season playing for the Cougars. She made such a big impact this season.
Bernal to serve for the 3rd time. It goes straight into the net. A service error for Italia. Bernal and hands a point right into the hands of the Pilots.
Yeah, obviously, you talk about service errors. You never want any of them, but especially in that moment when you're on a run, it can really kill your momentum. Let's see if the Pilots can capitalize on getting a bit fortunate there.
Taina Kawhi back to serve for the Pilots. Vreeling bumps it. Bernal, quick set to Cameron Lingenbrink, but the Pilots just keep it up, and they get a kill out of it. What just happened right there? Looks like they were handing a free ball to the Cougs, but no one was there in the back right corner. It touches down, and it's a point for Portland.
Yeah, on that one, it kind of looked like Hof really just pushed it to the back corner. No one's there, and get the kill.
Kawhi to serve yet again, 14-11. The Cougs lead it. Bernal will set it quickly over to Christodoulou, and it's blocked, kept up, but out of bounds. The Cougs got denied at the net. Looked like they tried to dig it up, but nonetheless touches down in the red paint, and it is now 14-12. Yep. Cougars still leading.
Christodoulou looked like she was going to get a kill, was blocked. Gomez almost had a crazy dig, but not quite.
Portland trying to set a run together here. Vreeling bumps it. Turn Bernal to Cameron Lingenbrink, kept up by the Pilots. How did they do that? Galmez sets it to the right side for Christodoulou. Can they get a kill out of it? It's bumped up by the Pilots. They're going to try and set something up. Left side blocked at the line, but kept up again by the Pilots. They refuse to die. A heavy hit, kept up by Italia Bernal. No, it touches down. Galmez is unable to lay out and get the play. 14-13, the Pilots inching their way back into this first set.
And sometimes when those rallies just go back and forth, you have to get the ball to your best player. And for the Portland Pilots, that is none other than Ellen Larson.
Kawhi, only down by 1. The 4th serve from her. Sails out of bounds. Good communication from Eliana Tia to let that ball sail past. It is now 15-13 as the Pilots will call a timeout here and try and get this game under control.
Yeah, I think that was immediate timeout because they got to the 15 points. Anyways, that is really unfortunate service ace there for the Pilots. It was 14-13. Pilots down by 1. They get that service error, and now it's 15-13. Kills a little bit of their momentum. They were on a run there, and like I said, just kind of kills their momentum.
Cougars are going to use this break to try and reset here as the Portland Pilots went on a little bit of a run there, started to get themselves back into the first set. Cougars lead it 15-13 in this WCC matchup. Smith Slye joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth. We'll be right back after this game break. Don't you dare go away. Seniors shining tonight as Cameron Lingenbrink is leading the Cougs so far for kills with 4 on the night. Taryn Vreeling has 1, and then of course Melina Christodoulou in there as well. So 3 upperclassmen leading the charge for the Cougs as they lead it 15-13 early in the first set. Back to serve, Maddie Joswick for the Cougs, the freshman. Bumped up by the Portland Pilots to the right side. Heavy hit, and it touches down. Joswick couldn't handle it. Makes it 15-14. The Pilots a much needed kill there.
Yep. Got the ball into the fingertips of Ellen Larson, and nothing but good things will happen if they do that.
Hoft back to serve for the Pilots. 5'9" out of Belmont, California. Redshirt sophomore. They're only down by 1. Can they get back into this game? Vreeling bumps it for Talia Bernal. To Eliana Tia, off the hands, out of bounds. Blocked at the line, but it works out for the Cougs. They get a 2-point lead in the first set, 16-14.
Sometimes if you just hit the ball hard enough, things will work out in your favor. And just honestly, a little bit of an overblock on that one by the Portland Pilots. Not much you can do about it. Good defensive play, but just better hit.
Tino Galmez, 5'7" from Spain. They call her TMG. The serve is kept up by Woodward Hart, just barely. Bumped by the Pilots. To the left side, they'll dump it in, but it's bumped up by Bernal. Galmez will set it to Eliana Tia. A hit at the line, can't keep it up. What a block by the Pilots, 16-15. They are not going away.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a block, but also a little bit of her not being able to get it fully over the net. It kind of scratched the top of the net, and if it does that, typically it won't work out in your favor, or if it does, it's just going to die, and that time it didn't work out.
Ellen Larson to serve, off the nets and onto the hardwood. Service error from the kill leader for the Pilots. Ellen Larson just can't get it over the wire.
Yeah, and one thing I've noticed really just throughout covering volleyball this season is that typically if you could win the service battle, typically you'll end up winning the game. And I think that's why head coach Corey Schrader emphasizes that so much. Right now, Portland Pilots have 2 service errors. Let's see how much that comes back, if at all, that will come back to haunt them.
The freshman setter, Livia Ward for the Cougs service line. Here it is. Bumped up by the Pilots to the middle. Heft to the right side. Heavy hit. Kept up by Galmez. She wore that one off the arms. Miscommunication. No one was there to bump it up. Blaskova looking at Vreeling, looking at Galmez. All 3 of them did nothing on that play. 17-16. Only down by 1 for the Pilots.
Yeah, you see that occasionally from time to time. What a great dig that was. Heavy hit, but miscommunication is going to give the 3-point there to Portland.
The defensive specialist, Woodward Hart to the service line. Gets it over. Just barely kept up by Vreeling. They'll set it back to Vreeling, who has to hit it over softly. Bumped up by Hoft. She'll set it quickly off the arms of Galmez, and a kill for the Pilots. They tie up this first set, 17-17.
Yeah, Taina Kawhi there says, Lucy Blaskova, who? I'm Kawhi. I mean, come on now. She has, that's her, I think, 166 kill this season. And like I said, she's 3rd in the conference in hitting percentage.
Tight matchup here. Tied up 17-17 in the first set. Hart gets the serve over. Bumped up by Vreeling. Ward will set it quickly over to Blaskova. Tries to put a dump on, and it works. It trickles off bodies and onto the ground. 18-17. The Cougs retake the lead.
Yeah, and what was most interesting about that is it almost looked like she barely got her fingertips on it, was barely able to clear the net, but sometimes that's all it takes.
Taryn Vreeling, the senior from Kennewick, Washington. As we mentioned before, she played 2 seasons with the University of Idaho before coming around to the Palouse. Set by Hoft, off the arms, and they can't handle it. The Cougs, Livia Ward wore that ball off the shoulder, and it sails out of bounds, 18-18. The Pilots going neck and neck with the Cougs in this first set.
Yeah, this is something that Corey Schrader has talked about all season long, trying to win at the very end of sets. Can he pull it off here to give the Cougs a 1-0 lead?
Lucia Busso from Italy at the service line. This ball sails out of bounds. Good head on the shoulders of Galmez to just duck out of the way and let it touch down in the red paint.
Yeah, that was really close. For a second, I thought it hit the back of her head. It looked like it hit her. It did not quite. Barely goes out of bounds. But, hey, if you're the Cougs, you'll take it up by 1, 19-18.
Blaskova to serve. Can she secure a 2-point lead? Bumped by Woodward Hart. Hoft to the left side. A little bit of a dump. Hits off the arms and down. The Cougs are able to say no at the wire. Make it 20-18. A 2-point lead for the Cougs.
Yeah, that's going to draw the first time out there for the Portland Pilots. I mean, they're down by 2 now, so not down by much. But when it gets close at the end of these sets, sometimes you just have to refocus your team. You cannot let the other team go on long runs, and I guarantee you that's what head coach Macon Burton is telling the Portland Pilots. Something else I wanted to add is the fact that, that Cameron Lingenbrink and Mary Healy, really any of the Cougar middle blockers and then their outside hitters make really good block throughs. That was Mary Healy's, that was her 47th total block of the season.
Absolutely. The Cougs have a 2-point lead in the first set, 20-18, in a game that is a lot closer than they would have thought. The Cougs, 4th place in the WCC. The Pilots, 6th place in the WCC. They were probably hoping to punch them in the mouth a little bit in that first set, but the Pilots are showing that they can hang with any team in the entire WCC conference. Smith Slye, joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR. Don't go away. Lucy Blaskova out of Keska Trebova, Czech Republic. She'll be back to serve for the Cougs. She was the kill leader coming into this game, 253, leading the WCC in hitting percentage at .456. She's the most efficient hitter in the entire conference. As she'll wind up this serve, gets it over the wire, bumped up by the Pilots. Over to the left side, off the hands, kept up by Vreeling, who sets it for Olivia Ward. Over to Mary Healy. And it's kept up by Woodward Hart. A heavy hit at the line, kept up by the Pilots. They'll receive that ball over the net and into the red paint. The Cougs just kind of watch that ball arc over the net and out of bounds for their points.
Yeah, that was just honestly a bad set there. I think by Lorcan Chalk.
Blaskova to serve yet again, 21-18. The Cougars leading. That bump, a setter dump, and it works. Heft catches the Cougs sleeping. A quick setter dump, and it works out. 21-19. The Cougars still leading, but the Pilots not leaving this matchup by any means.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And you want to know what's interesting is that Hoft right now is tied for kills on the Portland Pilots.
Maui Robbins to serve for the Pilots. Bumped up by Mary Healy to the middle for Olivia Ward. To the left side, off the arms. Melina Kushadulu got denied. Olivia Ward sets back over to Kushadulu. She gets denied yet again, but it's kept up by the Cougs. They'll have to hand a free ball now for the Pilots. Hoft, a quick set and a kill. Heavy hit. Taina Kawai just absolutely buried that ball onto the hardwood.
Yeah, we talked about before the match should be an interesting one-on-one battle between Kawai and Blaskova. And right now it's kind of even, but Kawhi heating up here late in the first set.
Robbins to serve yet again, only down by 1. That ball sails out of bounds. Good communication. Mary Healy watched it zip past her eyes and out of bounds. 22 to Cougs leading.
Yeah, I talked about this just a couple minutes ago, but I think that service aces are a critical part of the game that sometimes get overlooked. That is Portland's 4th service error, and right now that is the difference in the set.
Natalia Bernal, the assist leader for the Cougs, back to serve. A 2-point lead, and she sails it into the net for her 2nd service error of the night. Natalia Bernal, anti-clutch for the Cougs so far.
Yeah, definitely a good way to put it, but like I said, back and forth between service here. Portland a little lucky there to kind of catch a break after hitting a service there, but that puts them back within 1.
Kawhi to serve for the Pilots. Bumped up a little awkward lead by Melina Christodoulou. Tia has to joust for it at the net. It tiptoes the wire. They'll call a net infraction here on the Cougs and hand a point to the Pilots. 22-22 tie ball game here in the first set.
Yeah, and it looks like right now head coach Corey Schrader is talking to the line judge. I'm not sure if he's going to challenge it. He has his hand in his back pocket. Looks like he might pull out the card. just kind of talking to her, try to get a better understanding. But if it stands as is, then it's going to be 22-22. I don't think he's challenging it, but that will draw a Cougars timeout.
Absolutely. Like you said, he had his hand in the back pocket. Like he had his hand on the trigger. A little trigger happy there, just waiting to pull out that card. Like you said, he will not end up challenging that. He'll end up just calling timeout, try and get things under control here. Corey Schrader, he was a Wisconsin native. He was actually a coach for the University of Wisconsin at one point, helped with their recruiting, was an assistant coach. And then, of course, that was before he decided to come to the Palouse and take over as an assistant coach and then recently become the head coach for the Cougs. And so far, he's led the Cougs to a 10-4 conference record, 16-8 overall on the season. But we'll head to a game break here as the Cougs call timeout, try and get this game under control. 22-22, coming down to the wire in the first set of action. You're listening to Cougar Volleyball. We'll be right back. One of the thinnest crowds on hand tonight in Buller. Even though it is senior nights, not a lot of fans are showing up for the Cougs in the Crimson and Gray tonight. Granted, it is a Thursday night, so it is the weekend, the week before Thanksgiving break, so maybe people locking in on their midterms, trying to get those exams finished, but nonetheless, not the most amount of people in the crowd tonight. The Cougars wearing their crimson tops with black shorts. The Portland Pilots wearing their white tank tops with the black shorts. As Kawhi is back to serve yet again. 22-22, the Cougars tied up with the Pilots. This first set, it's close. Kawhi's serve is bumped up by Melina Christodoulou. Natalia Bernal bumps it to the left side for Eliana Tia. A hit that's kept up by the Pilots. Hoft over to the left side, kept up by Natalia Bernal, able to dig that ball up. Melina Christodoulou just lightly smacks it over. Hoft sets to the right side, off the arms, kept up by Bernal. Will they be able to keep it up? No, they can't. Natalia Bernal unable to keep it up as Melina Christodoulou was laying out to try and get the hand to it. Doesn't work.
Yeah, and that was a phenomenal setup there by the Portland Pilots. They were able to kick it out to Hope. They're on the far right side of the court, and perfect placement. Couldn't really do much. I think Cougars got a hand on it, but couldn't keep it alive.
Pilots with the lead. Kawhi serve, touches down. Eliana Tia, Taryn Vreeling, both of them just looking at each other with confusion as a touchdown between the two of them. And now the Pilots have a 2-point lead for, I believe, the first time in this set.
Yeah, and that's going to draw another WSU timeout. I mean, if you're Corey Schrader right now, you just have to calm down the team. They can definitely come back from this 2-point deficit, but it's all about their mentality at this point in time. Giving up 2 back-to-back points, especially the second one, kind of just gave it to them. You know, you got to calm them down. But yeah.
The Pilots 1 point away from snagging set number 1. Set point as the Pilots lead this game 24-22 in just the first set of action. We're ahead to a game break. You listen to Cougar Volleyball. Don't you dare go away. The Cougars imploding in the first set. For the first time tonight, they are trailing the Pilots by 2 points. 24 for Portland, only 22 for Wazoo, as they're going to try and get this game under control with the Pilots at set point.
Yeah, and one thing that Corey Schrader always talks about is trying to drive the other team's hitting percentage down and drive yours up. Right now, if we look at the hitting percentages, Portland hitting 206, Cougars just hitting 114. I think that's another big difference in this match, in the set so far.
The Cougars do not want to watch this set slip away from them. Kawhi to serve yet again, familiar sight. It's felt like she's been back there all night. Here's the serve. Bumped up by Cameron Lincoln-Brink on the front line. Vreeling sets it over for Eliana Tia off the hands. They can't receive it. A firecracker, a missile from Eliana Tia sails into the crowd. What a kill.
Yeah, what a kill there by Tia. That is her second of the night. That match is the total amount of kills she had in her last match. Definitely an upgrade from last match for Eliana Tia, and I think that's going to draw another timeout. I think by Portland.
Looks like they're going to try and get this game under control. They had set points, and now they still do have set point. They were to come out of this break and get point number 25. They would 25-23. They would win it by 2. They would take the first set, but the Cougs are definitely not going to want to watch that happen. Like you said, Eliana Tia has 2 kills tonight, matches what she had in the past few matchups. So like we said, she is due. Most likely, she will probably heat up here for the Cougs. She's doing it so far in this first set, and she's doing it possibly in the second, third set of this game.
Yeah, and one thing I want to add, at this point in time, I'm a little surprised to see a team take a timeout if they're up by 1 and it's set point. I think the thinking is here for head coach Megan Burton is maybe to kind of, obviously it's going to be the Cougars serve. They have an opportunity here, so maybe get in their heads a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what the Cougars will be talking about here, but like I said earlier, probably just they need to calm down a little bit, especially as, with this long of a break in between playing and then also hitting the serve. A lot could kind of go through your mind like, okay, I just don't want to mess this up. It's almost like icing a kicker in the NFL. It's like you're giving them all that extra time just to think about it. So that could be the thinking behind that timeout there by head coach Burton for the Pilots.
Megan Burton, she played 4 years for St. Mary's back in her collegiate career, at one point earning all WCC first team honors. And, of course, now she is the head coach for another WCC team, the University of Portland Pilots. She's rocking her signature flower in the side of the hair. She's out of Kapolei, Hawaii. There's actually 3 other members of this Portland Pilots team also from Hawaii as well. So definitely a Hawaii focus for that University of Portland team. Maddie Joswick back to serve for the Cougs. Gets over, barely kept up by the Pilots. They'll set it to the left side. They'll joust for it at the net, but it's kept up by the Pilots. Hoft will set it for Maui Robinson. The spike off the hands is received by the Cougs. Bernal will set it over to Vreeling, left side, and they can't receive it. Woodward Hart got absolutely sniped by Vreeling's hits. 24-24. The Cougs are clawing their way back into the first set.
Yeah, hold on, senior night. You see Taryn Vreeling come up clutch once again. When she went up for that hit, I was a little nervous. Maybe she might overhit it. That time, no way.
Joshua to serve yet again, looking for set point. And it's ill received by the Portland Pilots, but they somehow get a kill out of it. Number 11, Ellen Larson, the kill leader. Who else but Larson?
Yeah, I thought as soon as Portland received that ball, I thought for sure it was going to be a service ace there for Maddie Joswick. But what an incredible play to keep that ball up, get it to Larson, and then for her to make contact to get the kill.
Hoft back to serve for the Pilots, on the verge of snagging the first sets. Hoft takes her time, goes through her routine. Here's the serve. Bumped up by Vreeling to the middle for Bernal. Set quickly over to Eliana Tia. A dump, and it's kept up. A free ball now for the Cougs. Bernal sets it back over to Eliana Tia. Second time's the charm, but it's dug up by Woodward Hartz. Robinson over to the right side. Kept up by Joswick. What a dig. Over to the left side for Vreeling, who will have to bump a free ball for the Pilots. They'll set something up. Set to the right side. It's kept up by Bernal. A heavy hit, but a good reception by Bernal. Galmez will have to hit another free ball for the Pilots. The Cougs just handing opportunities. As a quick set and a quick spike is kept up by Galmez. What a dig. Denied at the net by Vreeling. Bernal will set it over to the right side for Eliana Tia, but they will call a net violation here on the Cougs and hand set number 1 to the Pilots. They'll win it 26-24.
Yeah, Smith, I think on that one, I think they're calling for contact because I think what they're thinking is that Portland did not make contact with the ball. It hit the front of the net, and then they kept continuing to play. I think is what they're calling.
I believe you are right, Connor. So again, an interesting series of events down there on the court. That was one of the longest rallies we've seen so far tonight. Both teams just trying to cling on to this first set. It looks like Corey Schrader looks like he's going to challenge this for a tip off the hands. So if he's able to do this, he might be able to claw that point back, make it 25-25. This is a well-needed challenge for the Cougs to be able to maybe get back into this first set.
Yeah, I think at this point in time, if WSU is successful in this challenge, they stopped the point in the middle of the point. So I think it would be almost a replay. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I don't think that they could just give a free point to either side.
On the Cougar sideline, Jackie Carl and the other subs on the Cougar bench hitting the limbo celly down there. It's an interesting thing you see in college volleyball. A lot of times the subs on the sidelines have some very inventive celebrations that they like to do, a little dance battle during the replay reviews that they do here. Both the Cougars and the Portland Pilots have taken turns doing their different celebrations. I'm interested to see what the Pilots do here. Looks like they're setting something up, as are the Cougs as well.
Yeah, I just saw the Portland Pilots. They were doing the bench press, but I'm not sure exactly what they're doing now. I think they might be rowing the boat. Actually, I have no clue.
They got a 5-man crew there trying to set something up. What is this going to... They're doing the bicycle celly. Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, wow.
It's a 5-man show there. One person is the handlebars. Another person's hands are the pedals. One person climbs on the back of the other one. The Cougs, what are they setting up here?
I think they're doing the same thing, Smith, but it's not looking as good.
Interesting. Anything they can do, we can do better.
And they give the challenge to Corey Schrader. So I think what happened is that it was a block, but they called it for contacts. So I think it'll be a replay of the point.
Very, very interesting there. The Pilots don't like it. The Cougs love it. Good challenge there from Corey Schrader to snag that point back. 25-24. Pilots still lead it. Like you said, they're replaying the points. So still set point here for the Pilots. Hoft back to serve yet again. The serve is received by Galmez. Bernal sets it over to Vreeling. Off the arms. Heavy kill. Vreeling, a heat-seeking missile to the hardwood. 25-25. We're tied up.
And Vreeling cannot be stopped here tonight. That is her third kill, but yet she has come up time and time again at the end of points. And here an opportunity for WSU to snag this set after what seemed like they were going to ultimately lose it.
The Cougs are not going quietly into the night. A float serve from Galmez is pancaked. It's kept up by Woodward Harts. The Pilots are going to have to give a free ball for the Cougs. Bernal will bump it. Galmez over to Eliana Tia. Puts on a bit of a dump, but it's somehow kept up by the Pilots. Left side, hit out of bounds, hits off the official and out of bounds. The Cougs hit point number 26, and they have set points.
Yeah, I thought for sure originally when Galmez hit that ball off the serve, I thought for sure it was going to be a service ace. One attempt there by Portland to keep it up, but set point here, 26-25 for the Cougars.
The ace leader, Galmez to serve with set point. Tips over the wire. Set over to the right side by the Pilots, and they can't keep it up. Galmez laid out to try and dig it up, but doesn't work, and we are tied up yet again, 26-26.
Yeah, Ellen Larson, that is her fifth kill of the night. Like I said earlier, if you get the ball in her hands, good things will happen. She comes up there. Taryn Vreeling had no opportunity to block that for the solo block.
Amaya Eason to serve for the Pilots. Bumped up by Joswick, and miscommunication there as Bernal laid out to try and bump it up. She collides with the media desk out in front there on the courts, and now the Pilots have set points yet again.
Yeah, and that is their third service ace of the night. They've kind of been up and down with the service aces and service errors, but set point here.
Eason to serve with set points. Ill receive. Bernal over to Vreeling. Has to dump it in, but it's bumped up there by Hoft. Set to the right side. Off the arms and out of bounds. The Pilots take set one, 28-26. What a set and what a comeback for Portland.
Yeah, I thought originally after the Cougars won that challenge, I thought honestly that they would win that set. They had some momentum. They were up by 26-25. Ended up falling 26-28. You got to give credit there to Lucia Busso. That was her third kill of the match so far and gives the Pilots a 1-0 lead in sets.
The Cougs watch set number one slip through their fingers like sand as they lose that one 28-26, a set that they did not think that they were going to lose. And like I said before, the Pilots are showing why they can hold their weights, hold their own against any team in the WCC. Doesn't matter if they're a fourth place team, a first place team, a second place team, a third place team, does not matter for the Pilots. They'll find ways to grind out wins and grind out sets. They took San Diego to 5, and it's looking like that might be the pace we're on tonight in Bowler. You're listening to Cougar Volleyball here on KUGR Cougar College Radio. I'm Smith Slye, joined by Conner Orr. Please do not go away.
And we are back here for set number 2. The Pilots took that set 28-26 and went back and forth for the entirety of this set. However, like I said, Pilots able to sneak it out at the end. There was a successful challenge there by Corey Schrader. Cougars at one point did lead 26-25. However, not quite able to get it done. And now we're here for set number 2, where the Pilots will lead it off.
Absolutely. It's been an interesting senior night here for the Cougs. I mean, right now you got Cameron Lingenbrink leading the Cougs 4 kills. She's a graduate student, so this is going to be her last year in the Crimson and Gray. She spent 3 years at Tulsa before eventually transferring here to finish out her Cougar career. That's kind of the same for a lot of the seniors for the Cougs, is they actually really haven't been here that long. They're transfers. They've been playing at other colleges and eventually transferred here for their last season. But it's going to be interesting here. That was definitely a set the Cougs didn't want to lose. We'll see how they respond in set number 2.
Yep. Here comes the serve by Galmez. Hits it over, dug up by the Pilots, hits it over. And Robbins tries to get the attack, no good. Hits it out to Vreeling, blocked by the Pilots. Blaskova hits it up out to Bernal. Vreeling, big hit, blocked, almost, not quite. Blocked by the Pilots, just falls straight down, point for the Cougs.
You know, people like to say third time's the charm, but it was second time's the charm there for Taryn Vreeling. Goes the first time blocked. Like you said, Bernal was able to kind of keep it up and just keep that rally going. And then Vreeling finally just able to connect on that.
Yep. Galmez up to serve once again. Hits it over, received there by Robbins. And fake set dump, no good. Received by Cougars. Eliana Hatia hits it over. Woodward hits it, and Bernal all the way over cross court to Taryn Vreeling, who hits it through the block, but it was actually blocked back over there by the Pilots.
Man, that's a rough one there for the Cougs. I mean, that was just a heavy hit from Taryn Vreeling. She's one of the heaviest hitters on the Cougs. I mean, she's not necessarily the most athletic, can't necessarily move the best as everybody else on the courts, but her whole job is literally just climb the mountain and just drop the hammer on those balls. It just doesn't work, and net play for the Pilots comes out on top.
Yep. Woodward here to serve for the Pilots. Hits it over, received by Joswick, who hits it to Tia. Kill attempt there by Blaskova, who hits, Vreeling hits it over, received there by the Pilots, hits it over again. Kind of a free ball there for WSU. Italia Bernal kicks it out to Tia. Tia spikes it, and it's a kill. Big time kill there for Tia.
That was just too easy for Tia. Bernal is so good at just putting that ball on a platter for the freshman phenom on the Cougs, and she is definitely phenomenal. Back in 2022, she tore her ACL, MCL, and meniscus in her high school volleyball team, and was still able to fight back and still get recruited for college, and now is on the Cougs.
Olivia Ward hits it over for the serve for the Cougars, kicks it out to Robbins, and gets the kill. Robbins kind of finds the middle of the court, pushes it over. We're tied here at 2.
Man, that was a tough one. You saw Maddie Joswick try and lay out, try and get the pancake there. Wasn't able to get it. And you could see her expression. She was furious that she wasn't able to get that. We're tied up 2-2 in the second set. Portland leads this game 1-0. And right now, it's been kind of all Portland all night.
Busso hits it over on the serve, received by Maddie Joswick. Hit up again by Olivia Ward. Free ball here for the Portland Pilots. And kicks over to Robbins. And a kill once again. Back-to-back kill there for Robbins. And if you're the Cougars, you got to stop this run now down 3-2.
Man, Robbins was feeling herself after that kill there. Just kind of tiptoed the wire. Just a slicing shot that just stays in bounds. Gives them the lead 3-2. I mean, it's looking like the second set's going to be just as close as the first one.
Busso again with the serve. Received there by Vreeling. Olivia Ward will set it up again for Vreeling. Kill. Yes. Good hit there on the far left side by Vreeling. And she gets her 5th kill of the night.
Man, it is just a deadly combo. You got Vreeling on the left, and who else on the right? Eliana Tia. You got two players who are just absolutely lethal when you get the ball in their hand.
Vreeling here with the serve, hits it over, received there by Chalk, and it's going to be a service ace there by Vreeling. Kind of a reception there by the Pilots, and gets the Cougars back on the board.
Yeah, ill received there off the arms. Then Amaya Eason was trying to chase that ball down like a lion, trying to chase down a gazelle, just unable to get to it. And now Cougars leading 4-3 in the second set.
Another serve there by Vreeling, received there by the Pilots, kicks it up to Robbins, tries to hit it over, and she gets the kill. Hit it right off the block of, I think, Blaskova and Mary Healy.
And that was just a smart play there by Robbins. She knew when she went up for that hit, she knew she wasn't going to be able to get past the block of Blaskova. So, again, smart volleyball. Good head on her shoulders, just tips it off the hands to be able to tie up this game.
Yep. Served there by Robbins, received there by Christodoulou. Olivia Ward hits it up. It's going to be a free ball here for the Portland Pilots, received by Chalk, who sets it up for Larson, who gets, and Larson has to hit it back over. Received here by Taryn Vreeling. Olivia Ward to Blaskova, who hits it over, but received by the Pilots, kicks it out to Larson. Oh, it's going back and forth. Cougars able to receive it. Back to Mary Healy. Battle at the net, and it's going to be Portland point. I think that was an attack error. Mary Healy, it looked like she hit it off the Portland Pilots, but not quite. It sails out of bounds.
Man, Mary Healy just unlucky there on that kind of joust at the net. Ends up going the Pilots' way. That's a tough one. You saw Blaskova earlier on that play when her setter dump didn't quite work. She was definitely frustrated about that, but the Cougs just kind of struggling here in the second set.
Gomez receives it, hits it to Ward. Out to Melina Christodoulou, who gets the kill off the block. Nothing there going for Kawhi and Hoft.
That had some mustard behind it. Melina Christodoulou just wound up that hit off the arms, out of bounds. Again, some smart volleyball. You know you can't beat them, so just use them to your advantage.
And Blaskova, one of the better servers on the Cougars, back to serve. Hits it, received, oh, not quite, and it's going to be a service error. I think I just jinxed her because, like I said, she is one of the better servers on this team as a middle blocker.
You just took the words right out of my mouth, Connor. I was about to say the announcer jinx is real. That was absolutely nuts.
Kawhi here, 6 service aces on the season, lines up, hits it over, and it's going to be another service error, back-to-back service errors, so will be point for the Cougars, and they'll go back to serving.
Man, the Pilots just basically said, anything you can do, I can do better. They just go back-to-back with those service errors. I mean, that's something you don't want to be better at if you're the Pilots. I mean, ties up this game 6-6. I mean, the Cougs just really need to claw their way back into it.
Natalia Bernal out of Mexico hits it over on the serve. Received there by Pilots, but it's going to be an over receive, and it's going to be a point there for the Cougars. Not exactly sure why the ref blew the whistle, but point there for the Cougs.
Man, Jackie Carl was she's ecstatic on the sideline there. She's only 5'7". They were lifting her up into the air for that celebration.
Yep. Received here by the Pilots. Hoft kicks it out to Robbins and tries to find the back corner, but not quite. It's going to be an attack error.
Oh, my goodness. The court awareness from Natalia Bernal. That ball was coming right for her, and she just knew from the angle, from the trajectory, that was not going to be in bounds. She just lets it kind of zip past her shoulder. Just good head on the shoulders of Bernal.
Again, another serve here for the Pilots. Received, kicked out to Larson, and oh, good dig there by Vreeling. Over to Bernal, who has to pass to Melina Christodoulou, who gets the kill. Woodward Hart almost got there, not quite. Great kill there by Christodoulou.
Christodoulou gets the kill on that, but you cannot forget the dig by Vreeling. That one definitely stung, puts her body on the line, and uses a brick wall to keep that ball up.
Yep, great dig there. Bernal back with another serve received by Larson, who hits it to Hoft. Hoft back to Larson. Oh, blocked. Solo block there by Cameron Lincolnbrink, and her big night on senior night continues.
Eliana Tia just hypes up Lincolnbrink there. Like you said, solo block. That was absolutely nasty. Got the arm to it, just denied him at the wire. Coming into this matchup, it was looking like net play was what was going to be the difference between the Cougs and the Pilots. The Pilots' leading blocker, Nevaeh Bray, only has 66 blocks coming into this game, whereas you look at the Cougs, Lucy Blaskova leads the Cougs 4 blocks with 109. So net play was kind of supposed to be the strength for the Cougs, but so far this game, it really has been the Pilots doing a really great job of shutting down these opportunities for the Cougs. Nonetheless, the Cougs lead it 10-6 in the second set, but they're also down a set as well as the Pilots kind of took away that first set from them.
Yeah, exactly. Down 10-6. I mean, they're doing everything right here so far in the first set. Getting a little lucky after the Cougars hit service error. Portland Pilots gave them the ball right back, and so far they've been capitalizing off it. Have a 4-point lead, and yeah, so Cougars up 10-6. We're gonna take a quick break. You listen to KUGR Volleyball. Don't go anywhere. And we are back Natalia Burnell once again back at the service line here for the Cougs. Cougs up 10-6 here in the second set. Burnell hits it over, received by Larson. Oh, right to Cameron Lingenbrink. She had an overdig, slammed down by Lingenbrink, and Cougars now up 11-6.
Lingenbrink's eyes got so wide. They just put that right in her breadbasket. I mean, it could have been a free ball for the Cougs, but Lingenbrink just speeds up the process and just gets the kill.
Burnell again with another with another good serve, an overdig there by the Pilots. An actual attacking error. Was a similar situation to the last point, but this time Cougars overhit it, sails out of bounds.
It was looking like deja vu there for a second. It was looking like the Cougs were going to do that. They're just going to run it back, but I mean, just unable to tiptoe the line there. Touches down the red paint. That's a tough break for the Cougs.
There we go. Poft here to serve. Hits it over to Vreeling. Vreeling receives it. There go to Bernal. Kicks it out to Eliana Tia, who gets the kill. We had Woodward Hart there trying to get the dig, was not able to do so. We got another kill there for Tia.
Woodward Hart is going to be bruised and battered after this game. She's been taking some heavy hits from these Cougar attackers. I mean, you got Eliana Tia, you got Vreeling, you got Krista Dulu. She has just been put to work tonight.
Joswick here with the serve. Hits it to Larson. Back over all the way out to the outside there to Busso. Busso with another good attack and gets the kill on that one, right down the center.
Man, that was just one fast hit there by Busso. Blink and you miss it. Nothing the Cougs could even do there. I think it was Galmez there trying to get the hands to it, trying to bump it up. Nothing she can do there. Cougs still lead it 12-8 in the second set, but who knows? Maybe the Pilots are getting a run together here.
Yeah, Maya Eason here to serve. Hits it over, received there by Joswick. Natalia Bernal hits up for Eliana Tia, who gets the kill right down Broadway. You know, we typically don't see her go down the middle of the court, but that's what she did that time, and it worked.
It was a good set there by Bernal, set up really high for Eliana Tia. She had time to be able to read the defense, see where that open space was. And the way you win volleyball games is getting kills like that, where you hit it to the open space. Good play by Tia.
Gomez with the serve, received there by the Pilots, up to Busso, and gets another kill off the block, tools it off the block, and Busso gets her second kill in the last 3 points there for the Pilots.
And dual effort there for the Cougs. It was Vreeling who got the hands at the block, and then it was Maddie Joswick trying to lay out and try and keep it up, but neither of them able to be successful. 13-9, Cougars still leading in the second set, and you got Woodward Hart back to serve.
Here comes a serve from Woodward Hart, received by Joswick, up to Bernal, down the center for Blaskova, and makes them pay with authority. Nothing that Amaya Eason could do.
The chemistry between Bernal and Blaskova is just electric. I mean, Bernal, she's the assist leader for a reason. I mean, it's kind of a given. She is the setter for the Cougs, but she is just so great at setting up her teammates. And if you don't have a good setter as a volleyball team, you won't be that good. But the Cougs have a real great setter with Natalia Bernal.
Yeah, another great setter. Just hit the ball there. Olivia Ward received by the Pilots, and looks like a bad set. Wasn't even able to clear the net off the reception of the serve. And I think it's going to be maybe possibly a service hit there for the Cougs.
Yeah, that was a tough one for the Pilots there. I mean, they kind of received it off the knuckles of the hands, not off the forearms like you're supposed to, and works out for the Cougs.
Ward with another serve, received there by Woodward Hart, kicks it over there to Busso, received there by Olivia Ward. Back to Gomez, who hits it up for Vreeling, taps it over, received there by the Pilots, kicks it out. Busso just has to kind of play it over, received there by Olivia Ward, who kicks it out eventually to Mary Healy, who it's going to be, good. It was a block there by two Pilot players, and rejected at the line was Mary Healy.
Man, it's a waterfall ball there for Mary Healy. Hits it off the block, hits off Mary Healy's body down to the Cougars side. It's a rough one. You hit it hard and it just doesn't work. Again, the net play for the Pilots really showing up today.
Busso back at the service line. Received there by Joswick. Olivia Ward hits it up for Taryn Vreeling, spikes it down with authority. Nothing that the Portland Pilots can do on that one. And Taryn Vreeling with her 6th kill of the night.
Just too much heat there for Amaya Eason, so she just gets out of the kitchen. That was an absolute missile from Taryn Vreeling. Like we said, she probably has the hardest hit on the entire Wazoo volleyball squad. And now they lead at 16-10 with Vreeling to serve.
Vreeling hits it over, received there by the Pilots. Blocked there. Kicks it back over down the middle. Again, blocked. Kawhi blocked at the line by Blaskova.
Melina Christodoulou and Lucy Blaskova, a presence at the net. They say to the Pilot, did you not learn your lesson the first time when they denied them? They denied them the first time. Somehow the Pilots kept it up. and they go back to the middle yet again. And again, Lucy Blasco, Melina Christodoulou. We played these games before. You're not going to get that pass. They lead 17-10. The Cougs looking a little bit more dominant in the second set.
Yeah, most definitely looking a lot more dominant here. Have a 7-point lead. I mean, this is their biggest lead of the entire night thus far. And Blaskova able to deny Kawhi at the net. And that's going to take us to their second timeout of the night by the Pilots. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to KUGR Volleyball. Don't go anywhere. And we are back. Coming out of the timeout, the Cougars have a 7-point lead, 17-10 over the Portland Pilots. A much more dominant second set here for the Cougs after dropping the first one, 28-26.
And you got Taryn Vreeling there. If you look up at the scoreboard, she got 6 kills tonight. And weirdly, she's got 2 digs as well. She's not necessarily known for her defense. So not only is she getting it done offensively, she's getting it done defensively as well.
Yeah. Hit over there by Vreeling, who received by the Pilots, has to get a free ball after some bad touches. Olivia Ward hits it over to Melina Christodoulou, and what a kill by her. Portland Pilots try to get up, but couldn't quite get it done.
The Cougs are just putting their foot on the gas pedal right now, and they are not letting up. 18-10, they lead it by 8. I mean, volleyball's a game that runs, but let's see how long this run lasts for them.
Vreeling with the serve, received there by Easton, over. Oh, and what a kill there, by Lucy Blasco. It was an over dig there by the Pilots. Kind of went straight to Blaskova, and she makes them pay.
A little worried for the sideline reporters there on the side, almost hit off the media desk there as well. So you're kind of in the line of fire if you're down on the court.
Received there by Woodward Hart. Kicks it out there to Robbins. Has to push it over. Received there by Melina Christodoulou. Olivia Ward hits it back to Melina Christodoulou, who gets another kill. Hits it off the block. Cougars up by 10.
Melina Christodoulou shaking her head after that kill, just trying to say that was too easy. Just use the arms, sails it out of bounds. That's just a great kill from Melina Christodoulou. Now they lead by 10, 20-10. The Cougars lead in the second set.
Another serve here by Vreeling, received by Easton. Down the middle to Kawhi. There we go. Received there by Healy. Eventually passed to Blaskova. Received there by Woodward Hart. Kicks it over to Robbins. Blocked at the line. And it looks like a net violation, or possibly the Cougars went over the net to try to block that one, and it'll be Pilots' point.
That's looking like what they're calling down there on the court, Connor. Definitely they kind of reached over the net a little bit there. 22-11. Cougars are still leading. And one thing I want to mention is on that point, the serve from Vreeling was definitely going to be a service error. It looked like it was just going to go way out of bounds. Nonetheless, the Portland Pilots still received it up, but definitely a misplay there. It still works out in their favor, but just a kind of a mistake there from the Pilots.
Robinson with the serve, and it's going to be a service error.
Speaking of service errors there, I might have just jinxed number 6 for the Pilots, Chalk.
Blaskova back at the service line. Last time she had a service error. Let's see what she can do this time. Hits it, received there by the Pilots. Hits it over by Kawhi, received there by the Cougars. Outside to Mary Healy, hits it, blocked at the line by the Pilots. Olivia Ward with the set. Oh, and what a kill there by Melina Christodoulou. Olivia Ward with the big-time pass set up to Melina Christodoulou, and Christodoulou makes them pay.
The offensive weapons that the Cougars have are just insane. You got Tia, you got Vreeling, you got Lingenbrink, you got Christodoulou as well.
Received here by Woodward Hart off the serve. Received out, kicked out to Robinson, and no one home there for the Cougars. Hits her right in the middle of literally everyone, and Robinson gets another kill on the night.
That was a beautiful trick play there by the Portland Pilots. The left side of the court all went up for hits, but then they set it back to the right side for Robbins, who just dumps it in there because all the Cougs had all shifted to the left. So it works out there for the Pilots.
Kawhi with the serve, received by Galmez. Kicks out eventually to Melina Christodoulou. Oh, and gets another kill. Finds the gap in the middle of the court. Chalk tries to lay out for it. Couldn't quite get it. Kill for Melina Christodoulou.
Like I said before, you'll win volleyball games when you find the open space. And right now, the Cougs are doing such a great job of that. They're reading the defense. They're seeing those gaps, and they're hitting it. It's hard to receive a ball if you don't have anybody there to receive it.
Talia Bernal back at the service line. Received there by the Pilots. Hoft kicks it back out to Larson. Blocked at the line. Bernal hits it to Gomez, who hits it back to Tia, and received there by the Pilots. Passed out to Larson, and received there, dug up there by, received by the Pilots eventually. Just kind of back and forth. Here we go. Larson hits it off the block, but it's going to be denied at the line by Eliana Tia and Cameron Lingenbrink.
It has been domination from the Cougs so far in the second set. They got set point. Everybody in Bowler is getting on their feet. They're getting hyped to see the Cougs maybe take the second set.
Bernal hits it, received by Larson. Oh, a service ace. What a serve there by Talia Bernal. Speaking of her, that is her 28th service ace of the season.
That is the most apropos way for set number 2 to end, with the Portland Pilots unable to receive from the Cougs. We saw that all set. So many kills, so many serves where they just really struggled to keep the ball up. They just weren't really getting these good passes to the middle. And you saw it right there in that service ace, which kind of puts a nice little cap on the end of set number 2, and we're tied up. 1 set for the Portland Pilots, 1 set for Wazoo. And that second set is a little bit more of what we were expecting to see from the Cougs tonight. Dominating net play, doing a really good job using your offensive weapons. You use Lingenbrink, you use Eliana Tia, you use Braylon, you use Krista Dulu at times. So that's the thing for the Cougs. It doesn't matter who they roll out onto the court. One of them is going to have the ability to just hit these heat-seeking missiles down onto the hardwood. I mean, 1-1. Cougars have 1 set, Portland have 1 set. This third set is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, that second set with the Cougars winning 25-12, it makes you question how they could have dropped the first set 26-28. You know, that was a big-time set there by both Melina Christodoulou and Taryn Vreeling. Taryn Vreeling had that one really big dig, but Melina Christodoulou and Taryn Vreeling, both seniors who are being honored tonight as it is senior night, are leading the Cougars in kills. Also, not to mention Eliana Tia, who's having a bounce-back game from her last 2 matches. Right now, she currently has 5 kills. Anyways, we are at the timeout in between the second and third set. It's tied 1-1 in sets. We'll be right back. You're listening to KUGR Volleyball. Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR. The Cougars bounce back in sets number 2, win it in dominant fashion, 25-12, as they are tied up with the Portland Pilots, 1-1, as they were led by who else but Melina Christodoulou with 8 kills so far tonight. She's a graduate student out of Greece. She self-recruited out of Greece and then spent 2 seasons with Akron before transferring to WSU to finish out her collegiate career as a Coug. As we're getting set for set number 3, Connor, what are we expecting to see out of the Cougs?
Out of the Cougs in this upcoming set, I think you just have to see a continuation from the end of last set. I mean, like you were saying, they won 25-13. They have to continue that momentum, but they also need to continue to drive down the Portland Pilots' hitting percentage and continue to rise theirs. At the beginning or at the end of the first set, I thought what a big difference was the fact that the Pilots had a higher hitting percentage. However, now if we look at the hitting percentages, the Cougars are hitting 261 while the Pilots are hitting 185.
Absolutely is. We're getting set for set number 3. The Cougs able to bounce back, like I said, in that second set. But like we like to say a lot, Mary Healy says it a lot for the Cougs, volleyball is a game of runs. And if you can get on more runs than the other team, you'll end up coming away with the win. And so far, Portland does a really great job of bouncing back when they need to. Back to serve for the Pilots, Havana Hoft, the redshirt sophomore setter. Here we go, folks. Set number 3 underway. Bernal sets it up for Tia, who puts a soft dump, but it's denied by the Pilots, kept up by the Cougs. Heavy hit from Vreeling, and it hits down in the bottom right corner. What a play from Vreeling to just seek out that back right corner.
Yeah, another big-time hit there by Vreeling. It was kind of close on the far right side. I wasn't sure if that's in or out, but she knew immediately. She put her finger up, knew that one was a kill.
Tino Galmez, the ace leader for the Cougs. She's got a 1-0 lead here in the third set. Her floater serve is bumped up by Woodward Hart, set by Hoeft. Quick hit, and it's hit touches down. What a kill. Nevaeh Bray just absolutely smacks that ball down to the hardwood.
Yeah, you know, so far this set, we're yet to see Kawhi, but that could have been because last set, honestly, she got completely bullied, completely passed around there by Blaskova. So let's see how Bray does in this set.
Amaya Eason to serve for the Pilots, 1-1, tied up here. Received by Maddie Joss with Bernal. Quick set to Blaskova. It's denied by the line. Bernal over to Vreeling, denied again, and it touches down. A point for the Portland Pilots. 2 times they deny the Cougs at the wire.
Yeah, the Pilots win the battle of the net that time. That one was pretty close off the block. It looks like it barely touched the white line on the far left side, but it stayed in. Pilots get on the board again.
Eason to serve yet again, and again received by Joswick. Bernal to Italia, and it's bumped up by the Pilots, but well out of bounds. Tia just fired a rocket that the Pilots just couldn't control.
You know, I thought the funniest part about that is as soon as she hit it, and the Pilots attempted that dig, it went way high. She knew she got the kill basically as soon as it hit them.
Olivia Ward, the other setter on the Wazoo team, a freshman out of Oklahoma, 5'10", goes through her routine. Tied up here 2-2. Ward serve goes to the back right corner. Set by Hoef to the left side. A dump that's kept up by Galmez. She had to lay out for that ball. Mary Healy just softly hits this over. Bumped up by Eason. Set over. And it's a heavy kill there by Nevaeh Bray. Just able to muscle it, palm that ball down onto the hardwood. And the Pilots take the lead 3-2.
Yeah, if you're the Cougs, you can't let that one up right in front of the net. I mean, when a player like Bray hits the ball that hard right in front of the net, you really can't do much. Not enough time to react. Definitely can't dig that one up.
The libero, Woodward Hart to serve. Received by Vreeling. Set by Ward to the right side. Heavy hit by Blaskova. Denied. Shut down. Maui Robbins just says no at the wire.
Yeah, and the Cougars on that one, when they received the serve, they kicked out Lucy Blaskova to the right side, try to get her that free hit on the far right side. Wasn't nothing going there. Big time block by the Pilots, even though usually that one does fall there for Blaskova.
Hart to serve yet again. Received by Joswick. Ward to the left side for Mary Healy. Denied. Blocked yet again. The net play for the Pilots showing up tonight.
Yeah, and like I said at the beginning of the set, the Cougars needed to keep their momentum going from the second set. But right now, we see them down 2-5 in this set. We're kind of seeing these teams go back and forth in terms of momentum. This time, though, it's favoring the Pilots at the beginning of the third set.
The Pilots piecing together a run here. They're up 5-2. Hart serve is ill received by Joswick, and they just barely are able to keep it up. A free ball for the Pilots. Hope, a quick set to Nevaeh, and they are able to get it. Tips off the hands of the Cougs and out of bounds. Nevaeh Bray gets another kill in this set.
I think something interesting about that was that the serve there by Woodward Hart, I thought that one was going out of bounds. I was kind of surprised that Joswick kept that one alive there.
Hart to serve yet again. 6-2, the Pilots leading in the third set. Received by Joswick. Olivia Ward to the right side for Vreeling. Heavy hit, off the arms, out of bounds. What a play by Vreeling to get a point for the Cougs.
Yeah, and she just looks so infuriated every single time she gets one of those kills. She's like basically telling her teammates, come on, let's do it again and again and again. Right now they're down 3-6 in need of a run. Right there, Taryn Vreeling able to hopefully set the memo for the Cougs.
Vreeling to serve. Received by Woodward Hart. Bumped over to the right side. A setter dump that's kept up by Olivia Ward. Galmez will set it over from Christodoulou. That's off the hands and received by the Pilots. Hoek over to the left side. They try and just dump it over, but it's blocked at the line, kept up by the Pilots. Another hit, blocked again at the line. Set over to the right side. Will this work? Another dump, kept up by Galmez. She has a layout to make that play. Mary Healy hits it over, received by the Pilots. A long rally setting up here. Number 8 tries to dump it, kept up by Blaskova. Olivia Ward sets it over for Christodoulou. Just barely sends it over, received by the Pilots. Right side, heavy hit to the hardwood. What a kill from number 8, Lucia Busso.
Yeah, Lucia Busso having a big-time match, big-time game so far here tonight. She cannot be stopped. That rally went back and forth, back and forth. I was curious. I thought eventually Christodoulou would get one of those hits to land. She was not able to, and if you're the Pilots, you're looking for Larson or Busso, and Busso comes up big time there for the Pilots on that point.
She's back to serve now for the Pilots. 7-3. They lead it. Received by Christodoulou. To Olivia Ward. Back over to Christodoulou, who just hits it over. Out of bounds. An attack error there from the graduate student from Greece. And now the Pilots lead it 8-3.
Yeah, and that's going to draw the first time out of the set there by Corey Schrader. And one thing that is notable here is that the players always talk it over before the coaches come in. They almost have two separate timeout meetings. Eventually, head coach Corey Schrader will come and kind of talk to them. But I think that's smart. I mean, as a player group right now, you're telling each other, like, you got to lift each other up. You know, they're down 3-8, and this is something we've seen every now and again with this Cougar team, is that typically, or every once in a while at least, they will fall down early in sets. However, I think that they'll be able to come back in this one as they've done so many other times this season. But in that player group right now, you got to be lifting each other up. And then when Corey Schrader comes in, he has to go in there and just kind of talk a little bit of strategy of how they want to get back into the set.
Corey Schrader for the Cougs, Megan Burton for the Pilots, both of them talking things over with their coaching staff, trying to see how they're going to come out of this timeouts. And for the Pilots, it's how you capitalize on the 8-3 lead. And for the Cougs, it's how you respond being down by 5. We'll head to a game break here. Smith Slye joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth. You're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Cougs find themselves down early in set number 3, 8-3. The Pilots lead it. Yeah, Lucia Busso back to serve. One set for the Cougs, one set for the Pilots. Here's the serve from Busso, received by Galmez to the middle for Olivia Ward. Set quickly to Blaskova, hits out of bounds, but kept up. No, the Pilots scratching and clawing to keep that ball off the ground, but nonetheless, the Cougs able to get a point out of it.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the most interesting kills I've ever seen Blaskova have here in Bowler Gym, or really just at all. I mean, she hit that one down. We had two Portland Pilot players laying on the ground trying to keep that one up, but not able to.
Good defensive effort, but unable to come up with it as Blaskova's there to serve. Gets over the net, bumped up by Woodward Hart, set by Hoef to the left side. Denied at the line, and it touches down. What a block there. Mary Healy and Cameron Lingenbrink just deny him at the wire.
Yeah, Cougs now on a 2-0 run. This is a big thing, is how effective can Corey Schrader's timeouts be? And so far, so good. Cougars only down by 3 now.
Lucy Blaskova, the redshirt sophomore, Lifts up this ball and serves it over. Bumped up by Hoef. Set over to the right side. Heavy hit from Maui Robbins, and she can't contain it. Lucy Blazkova unable to keep that ball off the hardwood, and the Pilots lead it 9-5.
And I think part of the reason why that was going to be such a hard dig there for Blazkova was the fact that I think Cameron Lingenbrink actually got a hand on it after Robbins hit it right at the net. I think she got a little touch on it, kind of deflected it.
Robbins back to serve out of Kalihi, Hawaii. Sends this over and just out of bounds. Tiptoed the line, but just fell over into the red paint. Galmez, good head on her shoulders to let that ball fall out of bounds.
2 new subs, Italia Bernal and Eliana T coming into the game. Let's see what type of impact these two Italia Bernal can make here at the service line for the Cougs.
Bernal, second on the team for digs. She's got 163. Serves it over. Kept up by Woodward Hart, who had to just slide to keep that ball up. Quick hit out of bounds, but it touched off the hands, and the Pilots take a point there from the Cougs. 10-6. They lead it in set number 3.
Yeah, that was close. If it had not hidden off the hand of, I think, either Melina Christodoulou or Cameron Lingenbrink, I think that was going to be a tack here. A little bit unfortunate here for the Cougs. Good point there for the Pilots.
Taina Kuai back to serve. Kept up by Eliana T, even though that ball looked like it was going out of bounds. Marina Christodoulou gives a free ball now for the Pilots. They'll set something up. Heavy hit off the arms of the block out in front. Bernal sets it quickly to Cameron Lingenbrink. It touches down. What a dump there by Cameron Lingenbrink to just catch the Pilots sleeping and slip that one past them.
Yeah, Cameron Lingenbrink now, that is her 6th kill of the night. Barely squeaked that one over, but sometimes that's all you got to do. And like we were talking about earlier, all the seniors really having a big impact so far in this match. And looks like now they'll be kind of wiping off the court after I think someone fell.
The officiating crew putting in overtime there, using the Gatorade towels that they have to go out and clean up the court, like you said. So we got Maddie Joswick back to serve from the Cougs. Freshman libero, 5'8", out of Spokane Valley. Goes through her routine, throws it up. Here's the serve. Received by Maui Robbins, set by Hoef to the right side. Bit of a knuckle ball that's kept up by Eliana Tia. Galmez sets it up for Vreeling, who spikes it right into the net. Just a really broken play there from the Cougs. Not the best set and not the best hit from Vreeling.
Yeah, she wasn't able to elevate that ball. You could tell she was disappointed. However, also calm and collected after she hit that one kind of right into the net. She kind of waved her arms out at the side, telling everyone, calm down. We got this, only down by 4.
Hoeft back to serve for the Pilots. Gets over, it's bumped up by Vreeling to Bernal. Sets it back over to Vreeling, off the hands. That's dug up by Robbins for the Pilots. Hoeft over to the left side, off the hands, and out of bounds. What a kill there from who else but Ellen Larson.
Yeah, not much you can do there if you only get a little bit of a touch on it. You got to be able to get your full hand on the ball if you're a blocker on that one. They were unable to do so, and that's why that one was so effective. Just squeaks off the top of the fingertips and goes eventually out behind the court. Nothing the Cougars should do.
7th kill for Ellen Larson tonight. The serve from Hoeft. A free ball for the Pilots, and they make them pay. Ellen Larson had that ball put right into the breadbasket and just fires it down to the hardwood.
Yeah, and that almost looks reminiscent of what we saw at the beginning of the second set, where the Pilots really just had free balls over to Cameron Lingenbrink and Eliana Tia. This time, the Pilots get that opportunity, and Ellen Larson capitalizes beautifully.
13-7, the Pilots lead it. Hoeft. Her serve is received by Cameron Lingenbrink. A weird bump over to Vreeling, who hands a free ball now for the Pilots. We'll see what they set up here. And it looks like they're going to call Taryn Vreeling for playing this ball out of bounds. And it looks like it will hand a point now to the Pilots.
Yeah, Corey Schrader, you could tell he's a little bit like, come on, guys, we got to get back into the set. Now down 14-7. As the players were walking off, he's clapping his hands vigorously, almost in a frustrated manner. And immediately he goes to the players to talk about it. We won't see a separation of coaches meeting and players meeting this time. I wonder what he's telling them, but just at least definitely, come on, guys, we got to lock in.
The Pilots take a page out of the Cougars' book and absolutely are dominating them right now in set number 3. 14 points for the Pilots, only 7 for the Cougs. 1 set for the Cougs, 1 set for the Pilots. As we head to a game break. Again, you're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Cougs looking to get set number 3 back under control as they trail by 7 to the Portland Pilots. We're tied up 1 set apiece, but right now the Pilots are looking like they might fly away with set number 3.
Yeah, they're on a bit of a run here. Cougars, after the timeout last time, they won back-to-back points. Let's see if they can do it again. This time, they really need it.
Hope to serve yet again. Looking for point number 15. Joswick receives. Bernal over to Cameron Lingenbrink, who gets denied at the line. Bernal over to Eliana Tia, denied at the line, and it touches down. Greenling can't handle it. It hits the hardwood, and the Pilots get point number 15 of the third set.
Yeah, something going into this match we talked about was the amount of blocks the Pilots would need to get, and so far tonight they've done a much better job of that. That was their 9th block of the night, and right now they're just dominating this set.
Heft at the service line, received by Galmez. Set by Bernal to the left side for Vreeling, off the arms and down onto the court. A much-needed kill by Vreeling, and it makes it 15-8. The Pilots still lean, but the Cougs showing some fight late in this third set.
That was the waterfall like you alluded to earlier. You know, Pilots tried to get the block, weren't able to get it over, kind of just fell right in front of them. Good kill there by Taryn Vreeling at the net.
The gal from Spain, Galmez at the service line. Bumped up by Woodward Hart, set by Hoft, a setter dump, it touches down. Bernal can't get the pancake to it. What a play by Hoft to get another kill for the Pilots.
Hoft, someone that you wouldn't expect to have 4 kills right now at this point in the match. She came into tonight with only 52 on the season, which honestly is still a lot for a setter, but still, to be one of the leading Portland Pilots on kills is insane.
Joswick receives the serve. Bernal bumps it up for Vreeling on the left side. She just barely taps it over. Hoft sets it over to the right side for the Cougs, but they block it at the line. It touches down. Lucy Blaskova there to get the block and get the kill.
Yeah, and that's going to get the Cougars hype. Anytime Blaskova, especially when they're kind of in a drought, when she can get that block, it makes everyone lift their heads up. It motivates them, and they get a little more pumped. As we see Kate Hayhurst come into the game, someone who hasn't played in a couple matches.
Hayhurst out of Eagle, Idaho. Freshman on this team, outside hitter, 6'3", definitely a big for the Cougs. As this serve is ill received by Woodward Hart. She definitely got crossed up there. Wasn't sure if she should let it go past. Wasn't sure if she should try to get the arms to it. Doesn't work out for it. Hits the hardwood, 16-10. The Pilots still leading.
That was the 7th service ace, and great ball placement there by Olivia Ward.
And she's back to serve yet again, down by 6, trying to get the Cougs back into this. And she absolutely mashes that ball well out of bounds into the student section for the Cougs. Not sure what she was doing right there.
You know what they say, Smith, you win some, you lose some. That one, most definitely a loss, and kind of breaks possibly a turning point that the Cougars could have had in the set.
Woodward Hart out of Los Angeles at the service line. Cougs receive it. Heavy hits by Blaskova. They can't handle it. Too much heat, so they get out of the kitchen. Lucy Blaskova with the kill.
And sometimes at the very end of these sets, not the very end, but when you need points most, sometimes it's not necessarily about the play. You just got to get the ball in the hands of your best players, and that's what Blaskova has done so far here in the middle to end of this third set. She's kind of taken over, got a couple blocks, couple kills, and Cougars now only trail by 6. But still down, like I said, 17-11.
The Pilots clean up their side of the court yet again. So definitely they've had an issue with some little bit of being a dirty side of their court. Not sure exactly what they're complaining about. Serve from Vreeling, received by Hoat. He serves it over to the right side. They hit it off the hands and out of bounds. But no, they'll say it just skimmed past the Cougs out of bounds. It's a point for the Cougs.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add, Smith, is sometimes, you can ask for them to wipe up your side of the court whatever you want. It can almost be just a small timeout.
Vreeling serves that one right into the net. An ill-timed service error from the senior from Kennewick.
And this is the second time now we've seen the Cougars win a point, and then they've given the Portland Pilots a free side out by hitting a service error, not even forcing the Pilots to have to earn or work for their points.
Busso from Italy serves this ball well into the red paint. Good communication there. Melina Christodoulou and Galmez talking to each other there on that left side, able to allow that ball to go out of bounds.
And that was big there because we've seen a couple of times now where the Cougars have miscommunicated. I think they've done it twice now. That could have been a potential third time, but thankfully they've let it for the Cougars. Thankfully they let it sail out of bounds. They get the point there.
Blaskova to serve right into the nets, taking a page out of Vreeling's book there, and that's back-to-back service errors for the Cougs. When they've gotten the serve back, they've just handed it right back to Portland.
Yeah, if you're if you're Corey Schrader, you're definitely a little frustrated. You can win the points. You can win these long rallies. But you can't do something as simple as just hitting the ball over the net.
Robbins at the service line, just tips over the wire, bumped up there by Kate Hayhurst. Quick set to Cameron Lingenbrink, who hits it, but it's received by the Pilots. Olivia Ward to Galmez to the right side, heavy hit by Hayhurst. It's received again by the Portland Pilots. They set it to the right side, and they just can't get it together. Tried to set up a kill to the left side, but the set just goes well out of bounds.
Yeah, bad set there by Hope, and it hits off the antenna. It's gonna go down as an error on her end. However, one thing I want to add is when you have an opposite hitter like that, Kate Hayhurst who had that big-time hit to set up the eventual bad set, that's big time. However, she just got subbed out of the game.
The gal from Mexico, Bernal, to the service line, received by Hart. Heavy hit from Robbins, dug up by Galmez. Hits off the net and somehow kept up by the Cougs. Set by Hoeft. Quick set, but it's kept up by Vreeling. A heavy hit, but they can't quite receive it. Vreeling put her body on the line, but sails it into the media bench there on the courts. And the Cougs lose that point.
Yeah, that was a big time. That was going to be a very hard dig to get if you're Vreeling. She almost got it, but not quite. That one sails over the media sideline, and Pilots win that point. Now up by 6, 20-14.
Kawhi to serve. They're up by 6. Vreeling ill received, and she just can't quite get it. And that's what I meant. That's what I mean when I say that Vreeling is not the best defensively. Quite a few times they'll target her down on the court because they know her ability to receive is not always the best at times.
Yeah, that's the Portland Pilots. That is their 6th service ace, really making the Cougars pay. They now lead by 7.
Kawhi serve again to Vreeling, but this time she keeps it up to Bernal to the right side for Christodoulou, and she can't get it over. The net play for the Portland Pilots deny them on the right side, and they now lead it 22-14.
Yeah, senior or graduate student Jules Tan and outside and senior Ellen Larson combined for the hit, or excuse me, for the block. They're on the far right side. And then Christodoulou not able to get the kill.
Kawhi serves this over, bumped up by Vreeling. Bernal sets it over to the left side for Eliana Tia. Off the hands. No, it does not. It sails out of bounds, makes it 23-14. The Portland Pilots leading in dominant fashion.
And see, this is one thing about having to call your timeouts early in sets. This is most definitely a time in which the Cougars would want to call a timeout, but they can't because they don't have any. Down by 9, Pilots only need 2 more points to win. So, yeah.
The fans in Bowl are losing their minds as Kylie Wong subs into the game for the first time tonight. Bernal to the left side for Eliana Tia. Off the arms and out of bounds. A powerful kill from Eliana Tia to try and get the Cougs back into this game.
Big time hit there by Eliana Tia. They're down by 8. It might be a little hard to win this set, especially because they need to go on basically a 10-0 run. However, sometimes it's not always about winning the set. It's just about doing some positives, getting some experience so they can improve and learn on that for the next set, which the Cougars will, at this point in time, have to win.
To the chagrin of Coug fans, Kylie Wong subs out after that 1 point. Serve from Maddie Joswick floats right into the net, and yet another service error for the gals in Crimson and Gray.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many service errors that is this set, but it's about 5 too many because this has cost the Cougs time and time and time again. They'll win a point, and only just to hit it right at the net, get the service error, and give a free point to the Portland Pilots.
Pilots trying to put this set in their back pocket. A set point. Bernal to the left side for Vreeling. Off the arms, but kept up by Woodward Hartz. Somehow she was able to bump that up. A hit from Robbins, bumped up by Bernal. Galmez to the left side. Second time's the charm. It's denied at the net, and Galmez unable to handle it. Touches down on the hardwood. Set number 3 goes to the Portland Pilots.
I'm a little surprised on that one that Tino Bunar Galmez went after that. I thought for sure that was going out of bounds after it went off the block from the hit there by Taryn Vreeling. However, she tries to keep it alive, has to go full pancake mode, not able to keep it up, and eventually falls, and Pilots win that one 25-15.
The Cougs absolutely implode in set number 3. They lose it 25-15. The Pilots do what the Cougs did to them in set number 2. The Cougs only have 1 set. The Pilots have won 2 so far tonight, and they are 1 set away from winning this WCC matchup on senior night for the Cougs in Boulder Gym on the Palouse. Again, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Cougar Volleyball here on KUGR, Cougar College Radio. We'll head to a game break, get set for set number 4. Smith Slye, joined by Conner Orr in the broadcast booth. We'll be right back. Don't you dare go away. You're listening to Cougar Volleyball on KUGR.
And welcome back, everyone. Here, Cougars down 2-1 in sets. They just dropped the third set, 25-15, after winning the second set, 25-12. We've kind of seen the highs and the lows of this game. The first set went back and forth, and the Cougars lost 28-26. So we've seen a set where the Cougars win by a lot, lose by a lot, and then barely lose. So kind of all over the place. We want to see a little bit more consistency here from the Cougars. And if you're the Pilots, you're one set away from really getting that upset here in Bowler Gymnasium on the trying to spoil the Cougars senior night.
Right now, if you're Corey Schrader, your heart has definitely got to be pumping. Their all-time record against the Pilots, 8-1 all-time. Do you want to know when the last time they lost to the Pilots was?
2004.
2004. And right now, the Pilots are one set away from getting their first win in more than 20 years. So right now for the Cougs, it's all about not letting the Pilots put their foot on the gas. You got to just somehow grab the wheel away from them.
Yeah, and we've talked about hitting percentage being a big factor so far. I mean, in the first set, the Cougars' hitting percentage was way down compared to the Pilots, and yet they almost squeaked it out. In the second set, they blew the Pilots out of the water in terms of hitting percentage, and then the third set, it dropped back down again. The Pilots now hitting 227 overall, Cougars only hitting 170. As Reeling lines up for the serve, received here by Easton. Over to eventually outside to Busso, and able to get the kill. No, sorry. So that one looked like an attack error. Excuse me. I thought that went off the block. It did not. Sailed out of bounds barely, and Cougars get the point.
That's a good momentum builder there for the Cougs. You're up 1-0 in the fourth set. Let's see if they can build on it.
Serve here received by Easton. Eventually hit outside to Robinson. Received there. What a dig there by Gomez. Kicked out eventually to Melina Christodoulou, who gets the kill. Big time kill there by Melina Christodoulou.
The Pilots do not know what just hit them. Melina Christodoulou, when she winds it up, she can just absolutely fire it past the defense.
Again, another serve here by Reeling. Received again by Easton. Eventually hit outside to Busso. Oh, what a dig. Barely able to kept up outside eventually by the Cougars to Melina Christodoulou, who gets another kill. Back and forth we go, but Melina Christodoulou again ends the point.
The luck for the Portland Pilots ran out there. They got lucky. They kind of dug that ball up, just able to scrape it over the net. And then the Cougs proved why they did not deserve to win that points.
Again, received by Easton. Eventually hit down the middle. Oh, blocked by Blaskova. Nevaeh Bray tried to get the kill on that one. Rejected right back in her face and already causing the Portland Pilots to take their first time out. And we're only 4 points in to the fourth set.
You set it to the right side. You set it to the left side. You go up the middle. You try a setter dump. And so far, the Cougs have had the answer for every single scheme that the Portland Pilots have tried to pull in set number 4.
Yeah, and we talked about it going into the match. Are we going to be able to see some of the other seniors like Kylie Wong? She did play 1 point there in the third set. We also want to see Kanaya Cleveland, and that's only going to happen, honestly, at this point in the match, being so back and forth if the Cougars are up by a lot, if they're down by a lot. So right now, Cougars not only trying to get this fourth set win, they're trying to win by a lot to hopefully possibly get in some of the other seniors who have worked so hard. Anyways, we'll take a quick media timeout. Cougars up 4-0, and don't go anywhere. You're listening to KUGR Radio, Women's Volleyball. Back here, 19 seconds remaining in this timeout. Both teams already lined up on the court. Portland Pilots kind of once they got back on the court, they had a small little team huddle talking things over, trying to get back into this fourth set after falling down 4-0 early on. You want to talk about momentum shifters back and forth between these two teams in this match? You're seeing it right now with the Cougs up 4-0.
It brings back to the service line right now. You're up 4-0. You just got to keep the run going right now.
Received again by Easton. Hoft outside to Robinson, big time hit and gets the kill. Reeling and Gomez try to lay out for the dig, not able to dig it up. Portland Pilots get their first point of the fourth set.
Man, Robinson is all confidence after these kills. You'll see her often on that left side. When she gets a kill, She doesn't celebrate too much. She just smiles, heads back to the circle. It's business as usual for Robbins there on those kills.
Served over here by Woodward Hart, received by Melina Christodoulou. Gomez hits it up to Melina Christodoulou. Big time hit, blocked. Oh, not quite. Oh, the two blockers by Portland got a hand on it, but kind of messed up the dig. Able to fall there for the Cougars and Melina Christodoulou.
Just a misread there from Eason. She probably had an opportunity to maybe lay out and get the arm to it, but just misread where that ball was going. Works out great for the Cougs.
Blaskova with the serve. Oh, barely hits off the top of the net. Eventually kicked out down the middle to Kawhi. Received, kind of going back and forth. Big time kill there by Kawhi. Forced the Cougars to have to try to lay out. We saw 3 different Cougars, full body extended to try to keep that one alive, but not quite.
Yeah, like you said, Connor, 3 Cougs laying out, trying to make that play, capped off with Eliana Tia trying to get that third hit, just trying to muscle over the net, but just unable to get it over.
Yeah, momentum going one way, the ball trying to go the other, doesn't work out in her favor. Hit over, received by Vreeling. Up to Olivia Ward, outside to Melina Christodoulou, and she gets the kill. That is her 3rd kill of this set. Man, oh man, is she on fire and taking over the match in the 4th set.
Much like Robbins, Christodoulou nonchalant after that kill there. Hits it off the arms, hits down on the court, and she just kind of struts back to the circle with her teammates. Right now, Cougs leading 6-2 in the 4th set. They have a chance to tie it up here late in this ball game.
Bernal with the serve, subbed in for Olivia Ward. Oh, barely kept it by the Pilots. It's going to be a free ball over here. Received there by Kay Harris. Down the middle, eventually to by Cameron Lingenbrink, who gets the kill. I think it was maybe a net violation or something. They called it a little bit early, but it'll still go down in the record books as a kill by Cameron Lingenbrink.
The Cougs have just really sucked the momentum away from the Pilots, and they're using it to go on quite a bit of a run here in the 4th set.
Received down the middle. Received there again by Bernal. Hit outside to Melina Christodoulou. Taps over. Received by the Pilots. Host eventually plays over to Robinson, who's able to sneak it in. I think that one barely stayed on the far left side.
That was some absolutely pinpoint precision from Robbins, not to hit the guard on the right side there, able to get it inbounds as well, just slipped it right past the Cougs. That's hard to do, and that's Robbins is just great at it.
Robbins back at the service line, hits it, received there by the Cougars, but it's being overserved, and right down the back to Larson, who gets the kill. Bad serve there, or bad reception there by the Cougs, leads to basically a free ball over to Larson, who gets the kill.
Woodward Hart, the sophomore, was hyping up Larson, the senior, after that kill right there. Some great chemistry right now for the Pilots as they're going to try and maybe take away the momentum that the Cougs have built up.
Received here by Cameron Lingenbrink to Talia Bernal. Outside of Melina Christodoulou, who gets yet another kill. Tried to dig that one up, was Robinson, unsuccessful. And Melina Christodoulou with her 4th kill already of the 4th set.
The Pilots just do not have an answer for Christodoulou on that left side. They keep feeding her, and the Pilots just have not been able to figure her out.
Speaking of Christodoulou, she's back at the service line. Barely hits it over the top of the tape. Eventually received by Hoft, who hits out to Robinson from the back. Received there by Kate Hayers. Talia Bernal hits it up to Taryn Freeling. Rockets! Oh my goodness! There was absolutely nothing Woodward Hart could do. And what a kill there by Taryn Freeling.
I said it before, Connor. I'll say it again. Hart has been taking some punishment there in the middle of the court. It's a scary sight to see Vreeling climb the mountain and just fire a shot right at you.
They have no answer for her or Melina Christodoulou so far. Oh, a service ace there by Melina Christodoulou. Speaking of her big 4th set continues. Almost trying to get that trying to get that reception there for the Portland Pilots, not able to, and falls to the hardwood for Cougars' 10th point.
Christodoulou, she's got 13 kills so far tonight. She has been on a heater.
Oh, speaking of which, you just jinxed her, Smith. Service error there by Melina Christodoulou, and now she'll be subbed out of the game. I'm assuming she was going to get subbed out anyways. But yeah, Melina Christodoulou hitting .435 here for the Cougs tonight. As middle blocker Taina Kawhi out of Hilo, Hawaii, here with the serve. Received by Gomez to Bernal. Kicks it over to Kate Hayhurst, who sneaks it in for the kill. Barely got it in on the very back side of the court. And Cougars extended the lead yet again to 6.
You want to talk about pinpoint placement from Robbins. Hayhurst, same thing. Tiptoes the line, just barely sneaks it in. And that's how you win volleyball games. You got to just tiptoe that line.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Hayhurst out there for the Cougs. Hasn't played the past couple matches. Now making an impact as it's Kicked over to Larson, who gets, yes, she does get the kill. Able to sneak it in on the far left side. It looked like it was going out of bounds, but she snuck it in, and that's a point back for the Pilots. Good side out.
Good block attempt for the Cougs to try and get up, try and just set a brick wall there. But, I mean, just a better kill from Larson. She's showing why she's the kill leader. She had 284 coming into this matchup, and she's been doing absolutely amazing for the Pilots. 10 kills so far tonight.
Defensive specialist Havana Hoft on the serve. Hits it over. Oh, it's going to be a service error. And another point back here for the Cougs. They now have 2 times the total amount of points the Pilots have, leading 12-6.
That was such a great eye from the line judge down there. That was a close one. That looked like from up here, it almost could have gone either way, but good eye down there. He's literally about 10 feet away from where that ball touched down. So he's able to see it just touch into the red, makes it 12-6. The Cougars leading in set number 4. They know the Pilots are on the precipice of getting their first win over the Cougs since 2004. So they know that the Cougs just do not want to see that happen. They have a legacy of beating the Pilots again and again and again. They're 8-1 all time against the Pilots. The Cougs want to make that 9-1, but the Pilots are on the doorstep. If they can get some momentum back in this 4th set, they could come away with the first win in 21 years.
And I think right now we're taking a small break because there might be a challenge. I think the official is reviewing whether or not that was in or out there on the serve. Because both teams still have all of their starters still out there on the court, and they're kind of just sitting around. I mean, from our angle, couldn't really tell, but line judge did call that one out, and the service is on the Pilots. We will step aside for a quick break as the line officials and the referees try to get this one settled out. I'm Conner Orr in the broadcast booth with Smith Slye. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Listen to KUGR Women's Volleyball. And we are back, and the point was actually awarded to the Pilots. It looked like that serve barely stayed in, and it will be a service ace there by Hoft, and that brings the Pilots in within 4 points.
That was a well-needed challenge there for the Pilots to be able to claw that point back again. Every single point matters, especially late in this game, especially in the 4th set, because the Pilots have a chance to win this one. So if you can snag a point like that, that could be the difference between winning the 4th set or having to go to set number 5.
Exactly. Every point in these sets matters, especially because at the end of the set, you don't want to have to be crawling back down by 5 or 6 points. But here we go. Hoft back here to serve, taking her time. Lines up and hits it. Received there by Gomez, who hits it to Bernal. Up to Kate Hayhurst, and barely able to get it over. Eventually out to Larson, and oh, what a kill. Bernal tried to get the reception, not quite. Goes off her fingertips, sails out of bounds, and Pilots get back-to-back points.
That review's definitely swung some momentum back now for the Pilots. They're going to want to look to go on a run here, close the gap. The Cougs are only up by 3, and right now the Portland Pilots are really challenging them in the 4th set.
Yeah, the Pilots right now are on a 3-0 scoring run. There was that one point in time the Cougars were up by 6. Now they only lead 11-8. I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about. Looks like head coach Megan Burton was talking to one of the officials and got something figured out. But back here with the serve is Hoft, who now has 29 service aces coming up with the serve. Hits it over. Oh, barely stays over. Awkward dig there by Joswick. Eventually gets out to Vreeling. Received there by Robinson. Larson hits it all the way over, but it's basically a free ball. Vreeling receives that one up to Bernal, down the court, down to Blaskova, dug out well, out to Larson, who taps it over and gets the kill right down the center of the court. Maddie Joswick lays out her entire body to try to dig that one up, but wasn't able to. And the Portland Pilots now on a 4-0 scoring run.
Ellen Larson is just a spark plug right now for the Pilots. When she gets a kill, she is hyping up her gals in the huddle. You saw it right there. She's just able to sneak that one into the open court, able to get that kill. And I mean, she has just been, like I mentioned, a spark plug. She gets her girls hyped. They're only down by 2 right now. 11 for the Cougs, 9 for the Pilots. But again, like I mentioned before, the Pilots are just one set away from winning for the first time in 21 years. This game means so much for Portland. And basically a rivalry, not necessarily a rivalry game of sorts, but in a game that is almost historic for them if they could get a win.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, they've been a great team all season. Whenever they lose in 5. Their past 3 matches they've all lost in 5, even against the University of San Diego, which is the #1 team in the WCC right now. But it looks like there is a challenge. I'm not sure exactly what they're challenging, but both teams are on the court once again. But it's interesting because if you're the Cougars, we would have expected them to come out with a little bit more energy, trying to get this win here for their seniors on senior night, especially as the Portland Pilots just lost their senior night last match, to the University of San Diego. So maybe they're looking to get a little bit of revenge. But still, you would have thought going into this, you would have seen maybe a little bit more life or at least a little bit more consistency from this Cougar volleyball team.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the Portland Pilots got a little bit of a dance circle going on their sideline. It's kind of a tale of 2 teams right now. Good vibes on the Portland side, and the Cougs kind of all business there. They're not dancing. They're not singing. They know they are in trouble right now. You cannot afford to get a little too goofy there on the sideline. They're dancing a little bit to the music, but the Portland Pilots definitely feeling themselves on the left side of this court in Bowler.
Yeah, and if you're the Cougars, you would want to, I mean, I'm not a big believer in having a dance-off or anything. I honestly don't think it's really that necessary. But if you're the Cougars at this point in time, I feel like it almost is a must-do because, like you were talking about earlier, having good vibes. I mean, if you're all serious, you're all business, that's good when you're winning. But they are winning this set so far, but they have dropped the last couple points, and they need to get a little bit of energy. How are they going to do that? It sounds a little bit dumb, but it could be from this dance-off.
Absolutely. It's hard to see who is exactly winning the dance-off here. It looks like it's Jackie Carl, Eliana Tia, along with Kylie Wong there leading the charge. Looks like Jackie Carl just hit the Cam Ward celly there on the sideline as well. But both Portland and the Cougs kind of taking turns going back and forth with their different dance moves. I mean, it's hard to see. I don't know who exactly is judging this, but I don't know who's going to be coming out on top on the dance battle.
Yeah, no clue. But, I mean, if you're talking about Jackie Carl looking like Cam Ward, that's not a good thing. Seen the Tennessee Titans lately. A little rough. So, yeah, but honestly, similar to Cam Ward and the Titans, Cougars are losing this dance-off.
Absolutely. It looks like they're going to hand this point to the Pilots is what it looks like, for what they motion there. But interesting there, they don't necessarily have a spot on the stat sheet for the dance-off, so not sure how they're going to score that at the end of the night.
Yeah, they don't, but Pullman Pod's definitely winning it. I'm not sure exactly what the challenge was, but Pilots remain with the point, and they're still up 11-9. A sideline official is still talking to the Portland Pilots assistant coach and Megan Burton. I'm not sure exactly what they're discussing, but it's something.
Really beating a dead horse here midway through this 4th set, late in this game. Now they're going to go over and talk to Corey Schrader as well. So both sides trying to get their voices heard on the discussion. It looks like Corey Schrader is not exactly happy with it. It looks like they're going to replay this point. So it'll be Cougars 11, Pilots 9. So and it's a serve for the Pilots. So we'll see if they can't capitalize.
Serve here by Hoft, received by the Cougars. Basically going to be a free ball over. It was a good serve received here by the Pilots. Kicked out to Busso. Oh, big time kill. Kate Hayhurst tried to get the dig. Nothing going there. It was too big of a hit. Too heavy to handle.
Yeah, Vreeling went up for the block. Hits off her arms. Kate Hayhurst tried to receive it. She's unable to do it. Just a good kill from Busso. Just absolutely muscling that ball past the Cougs.
Hoft again with another serve received by Vreeling. Oh, you talked about it earlier, Smith. Sometimes they do look to target Tara Vreeling, and every now and again it works. And we are now seeing the Portland Pilots on a 6-0 run. Once upon a time, the Cougars were up 11-5. Once upon a time, being now, the game is tied 11-11. That forces Corey Schrader to take his first time out of this set.
It's a completely new set now, Connor. Like you said, the Cougs were up 11-9. Now it's tied up. All their momentum has been sucked away. And like you mentioned, targeting Taryn Vreeling, a team is only as good as their weakest link. And right now, the weakest link on the reception game has been Taryn Vreeling. She's just unable to receive these serves. So if it ain't broke, why would you try and fix it? Always target Taryn Vreeling. That's been the formula for the Pilots, and it's working out for them. It's a tie game in the fourth set of action. The Pilots wanting to put this game away. They can win it 3-1, or this could be pushed into the set number 5. Who kind of knows? It'll all come up to how the Cougs do out of this timeout.
Yeah, if it were to go to 5 sets, this would be the first 5-set match in Bullard Gymnasium since they played Santa Clara at the very beginning of the season. Cougs won the first set, dropped the next 2, and then won the last 2. So we'll see if that happens here in this one, as the teams are looking to make their way back out onto the court after the timeout by the Cougars.
Yeah, if you're Corey Schrader, and I don't know exactly what you're saying to the gals in the huddle, but basically you gotta win the remainder of this set coming out of that break. You slowed the game down a little bit. Portland Pilots are going on a little bit of a run. You gotta snag it back here. Tied up 11-11. The Portland Pilots, they lead this game 2-1 for sets. So right now, Portland Pilots just trying to put their foot on the gas.
Hoft back to serve again. I think this is the 7th time in a row she's been back there. Hits it over, received by Kate Hayhurst. Eventually to Bernal, who gets over to Taryn Vreeling, who taps it over through the block. Eventually dug up there by Hoft, who eventually kicks it out to Robinson, who kind of just taps it over. Received there, eventually gets it to Bernal. Down the middle to Blaskova. Receiving a tip-off here down the center of the court. Eventually kicks it out to Larson. Eventually gets that big-time kill they've been looking for. Back and forth, we saw the tips go, but eventually Pilots get it out to one of their best players, and they eventually get the point.
The 5'4" Woodward Hart just jumped into the arms of Ellen Larson. Ellen Larson, 6'2" out of Buras, Sweden there. That's something you used to see last year with Lucy Blaskova and our senior libero last year, who has since graduated, but same thing. They jump up into the arms of her outside hitter and just have embraced there after that point.
Hoft on the serve, received there by Joswick, gets it to Bernal, back to Olivia Ward, and Blaskova gets blocked at the line by Larson, but they're talking over with the official. I think they thought maybe the block went out of bounds. Not quite sure, but Corey Schrader is completely frustrated with the ref talking, and he can't believe the call.
Hush kind of falls over the crowd here in Bowler. I mean, this is the kind of thing you would definitely want to argue for if you're Corey Schrader, in especially this part of the game. Set number 4, you're down 2-1. The Pilots can win this game by taking set number 4. So this is the time where you can just try and fight, scratch, claw for every single point that you possibly can. So he looks like he's going to challenge this to see if he can get this back. So, I mean, any challenge is a good challenge right now for Corey Schrader. You just need to get as many points as you possibly can back. You can't afford to let anything go by the wayside.
Yeah, that point was called for the Pilots. They now have a 13-11 lead. But if somehow this call were to get reversed, it'd be 12-12 and it'd be tied. And even though right now the Pilots are on an 8-0 run, even just winning that, even getting this point back, the Cougars would be able to build off of that. This time we will be taking a quick media break. Cougars currently trail 13-11 to the Portland Pilots. However, we'll see if that changes after the challenge. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on KUGR Radio. Back here, the challenge was upheld. Corey Schrader not able to overturn the call. And right now, Pilots are on an 8-0 run, kind of taking back this fourth set after being down 11-5.
That's a rough one there for the Cougs. Like I said, any challenge is a good challenge this late in the game. Doesn't go Corey Schrader's way, but that might be one that might come back to stab the Cougs in the back.
Received off the serve by Vreeling, who gets it over to Olivia Ward. Back to Vreeling, big time kill, blocked at the line, and big time block. And we're seeing the Pilots run around in circles here on the court. Nevaeh Bray with that big time block.
Man, I felt that block in my soul. We could hear that, feel the vibrations from all the way up here. Like we said, Taryn Vreeling has one of the heavier hits on the entire Cougar squad, but when it hits off a block, you can definitely feel it.
Corey Schrader can't believe it. Received here by Maddie Joswick, eventually to Olivia Ward. From the back, Eliana Tia, and almost a bad set, just kind of a free ball over here. Olivia Ward kicks it outside to Lucy Blaskova, who gets the kill. This time, the swing outside right to Blaskova works, and they get back on the board. Now 12-14, Cougars only down by 2.
What a sneaky play there by Blaskova, just able to get the tip off the body, tip out of bounds, a bit of a broken play, somehow get it to work. Only down by 2, but you wouldn't think it. Right now for the Cougs, it just has not felt like they've been in control of this set at all.
Olivia Ward on the serve, received there by the Pilots. Kicked it out eventually. Right down the gut was Nevaeh Bray. Just kind of pushed that one. Tried to go for the block. The Cougs weren't expecting that one to be hit the way it was, and they pay the price.
Yeah, again, they almost looked like Bray kind of palmed that ball, like how you would palm a basketball. Just climbs the mountain, goes up, palms that ball, and just shoves it down the throat of the Cougs.
Easton with the serve, received by Vreeling, up to Olivia Ward, down the middle by Blaskova, but it's blocked. But the Pilots eventually keep it up somehow. Outside, dump set there by Olivia Ward, and that finally works here tonight. That is her 20th kill on the season, and really all 20 have come from dump sets like that. But what a valiant effort there by the Pilots defensively to keep that first hit by Blaskova up and alive.
That is Olivia Ward's specialty. Whenever she's on the court, you can expect to see that at least a couple times in the match. Like you said, finally pays off for her, able to get that setter dump, hit the open space. But you had 4 Pilots kind of converging on that, looking for the pancake. They don't get it. 1 point game here. The Cougars lead it it's 15-13. Pilots still leading by 2.
Service error by Vreeling. That's going to give the point straight to the Pilots. And Nevaeh Bray getting extremely hyped up for the Pilots. She feels it. She knows that they're only 9 points away from upsetting the Cougs. And like you said earlier, getting their first win over Cougar volleyball in 21 years. Woodward Hart gets the serve. Eventually somehow kept alive by the Cougars after almost going into their bench. Up down the middle to Nevaeh Bray. Not Nevaeh Bray. She just got subbed out. Taina Kawhi. And Pilots up 17-13. And they forced Corey Schrader to take another timeout. And you could tell he's frustrated.
The wheels are absolutely falling off right now for the Cougs. One thing I got to bring up, Taryn Vreeling. She's got 10 kills so far tonight. 2 digs as well. So, offensively, just looking at those 10 kills, offensively, she has been strong. But as much as she's been contributing for them on offense, she's been making up for it from her service errors, not being able to receive the ball. She's been simultaneously helping the Cougs and killing them in this matchup.
100%. But also, even though she does have 10 kills, one thing you have to look at is the amount of attempts and errors she's had. She has 10 kills, sure, but she has 7 errors, and those 10 kills come on 32 attempts. So right now she's hitting under 100. So sure, she has the kills, but she's not necessarily being efficient with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. The most efficient hitter right now has been Melina Christodoulou, 417. And a name that's been very quiet so far tonight has been Lucy Blask, but she does have 6 kills. She also has 4 digs, but not being maybe the efficient hitter that we're used to seeing out of her game in, game out.
100%. And even Cameron Lingenbrick, who we were calling her name, it felt like every other point in the first and second set, she's been off the light. She does have 7 kills, hitting at 583, but ever since really the second set, she has been, honestly, hate to say it, non-existent.
You're absolutely right. She's been incredibly efficient, though. Like you mentioned, that 583 hitting percent. Get her out on the court. Maybe you start feeding her some balls her way as well. Right now, the Cougs down by 4. We've mentioned it a bunch of times. This would be the first win in Pilots history over the Cougs in 21 years. Last time they won against the Cougs was in 2004.
Woodward Hart here to serve. Pilots up 17-13. Dug up by, eventually it's hit over back to the Cougars. Gomez hits it outside to Melina Christodoulou, who pushes it down and gets the kill. Whenever you need a big play in this game, it seems like you just need to get the ball to Melina Christodoulou and good things will happen.
Great kill. Melina Christodoulou able to just kind of push that ball down to the ground. Good effort from Eason by the Pilots to try and lay out, try and get a dig. Just too little, too late.
Maskova on the serve, received by Eason. Eventually outside. Oh, big time kill there by Kawhi. And just electrifying energy here on the Portland Pilots side.
There's just nothing you can do if you're the Cougars. That was just an absolute missile from Kawhi. And when you put it in the breadbasket for Kawhi, she's going to make you pay.
Busso from the left side of the service line hits it over, received by Eliana Tia, up to Olivia Ward, outside to Melina Christodoulou, who's blocked this time by none other than Kawhi and Hoft. And Pods right now, they look like they're going to run away with this set and also this match.
The Portland Pilots are just shoving the face of the Cougs down into the mud right now in the late stages of this fourth set. They are so close to winning this game 3-1. They want to put their foot on the gas and just run away with this one.
Busso, another serve, received this time by Reeling, up to Ward. Eliana Tia does not get to go. She gets blocked on the far right side by Robbins. And Robbins has had a great night all night long offensively, but that time defensively comes up big, denies Eliana Tia right in her face.
Net play for the Pilots has been just absolutely clutch right now all game, and they're showing up big time in set number 4.
Busso on the serve, received by Reeling, up to Olivia Ward, outside again to Eliana Tia, who kind of tips it over. Oh, big time there by Woodward Hart to keep it over. Eventually a free ball. Oh, miscommunication, but kicks it out to Melina Christodoulou, who gets blocked again. Kawhi and Holt, they cannot be stopped.
The Cougars have just been running into brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. And the Pilots are now 4 points away from taking this matchup 3-1, getting another WCC win. It's just brutal right now if you're a Cougar.
Cougars are getting out. Pilots are on a 16-3 run. This is ridiculous. Busso with the serve to Gomez, who gets up to Olivia Ward, down to Cameron Lingenbrink. Right down, tips it over. It was Cameron Lingenbrink. Kind of a bad set there, but hit over that barely to Cameron Lingenbrink. She kind of just hits it right down where no one was, and that's a point there for the Cougs.
The announcer jinx has been on full effect so far tonight. You just brought up the 16-point run that they were on, and it gets broken right there. 21-15. The Cougars still down by quite a bit, down by 6. In volleyball, that might as well be a death sentence this late in the game.
Yeah, but you never know. Could get a comeback. Woodward Hart receives it. Outside to Robbins. Oh, a kill. And the entire bench has on the ground kicking their feet. And, I mean, like I said, in the third set, because Corey Schrader had to use his 2 timeouts early on, he can't call timeout to corral his team. And now only 3 points away from Portland Pilots' victory. It looks all but over for the Cougs.
Life has been absolutely drained from the Cougar sideline right now.
Received by Vreeling. Awkward reception. Lingenbrink has to hit it over. Received by Pilots. Hits it outside to Kawhi. Eventually received by Olivia Ward. Gomez outside to Melina Christodoulou, who gets the kill off the block. This time she makes Kawhi pay. But you start to wonder, is it too little, too late here for the Cougs?
Well, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, and I have to agree with you. When you need to get a point, when you need to get some momentum back on your side, there's nobody better to give the ball to than Melina Christodoulou, the gal from Greece.
She, in this match, has been their number 1 hitter and honestly, controversially, been one of their best players all season, no doubt about that. Eventually received, kind of a really awkward kill there by Hoft. Probably one of the most awkward she'll have entire career. Off the serve, she receives it, just kind of hits it one hand, just kind of hits it with one hand over the net barely, and then Vreeling wasn't expecting it. It just goes off her and out of bounds.
Self-inflicted wound there from Vreeling. Would have been better if she just didn't even go up for the block. You should have just let the Pilots shoot themselves in the foot. Kawhi
eventually with the serve. Bad reception there by Vreeling, but it finally gets it over. It's going to be a free ball here for the Pilots. received here, kicked outside eventually by Bray, and that's just going to be attacking here. I don't even think she got it over the net. Cougars down now 17-23.
Cougars luck out there. I mean, they're going to need some luck on their side. It feels like all the luck in this game has really been going the Pilots' way. They're down 23-17. You got Galmez back to serve. You got to get something going.
Gomez with the serve received there eventually goes over, kind of dug up at the line. Eventually to Blaskova, who hits it over. Oh, big time kill right down the pipe. We had Woodward Hart and Hoft go after it, but none of them could get it. And that's going to be another kill by Lucy Blaskova.
Cougars needed that right there. Still down 23-18 in set number 4. Pilots up 2-1. Galmez back to serve yet again. The Cougs, you got to just scratch and claw your way back into the set.
Serve, way out of bounds, not even close. And Galmez, who last match had a 5 service ace performance, hits that one way too far out to the right side of the court. Doesn't even land on the red paint. And now Pilots up 24-18 match point, and it's looking like they're going to steal this win.
Galmez was the last person I would expect to get a service error this late in this crucial of a moment.
Hoft with the serve, received by Vreeling, gets it over to Olivia Ward. Vreeling, free ball is over, received by Woodward Hart. Eventually gets it outside down the middle. Oh, and they'll get the game-winning kill. That was Nevaeh Bray. We've been talking about her all night, and she ends it. And immediately we see the Portland players rush in the center, dogpile on each other, and celebrate that match-ending kill.
Nevaeh Bray fell down to her knees after that point there. 25-18. The Pilots win set number 4, win it 3-1. Kind of embarrassed the Cougs on home turf on senior night as well. We mentioned not the biggest crowd on hand for Wazoo, but the few fans that did show up for this late Thursday game got treated to one of the worst games for the Cougs this year against a bit of a weaker opponent. Like we mentioned, the Portland Pilots were only 6th place coming into this matchup. The Cougs were in 4th. And they get upset by the Pilots. They win their first game against the Cougs since 2004. All-time record moves to 8-2. Cougars still, for all-time record, they still have a winning record. But for the Pilots, this was kind of their Super Bowl late in the year.
Exactly. At this late in the season, you're just trying to get any win you can. Thankfully for the Cougars, they have 3 more matches to just try to get it done. But they got a couple tough opponents. St. Mary is okay right now. They're 6th in the WCC, but they have to go up against Santa Clara, who is currently 5th in WCC, but then they end with San Francisco. As for the Portland Pilots, they're going up against Gonzaga, 8th in WCC, and then their last match of the season will be up against OSU, who's currently 3rd in the WCC. But tonight, the Pilots were able to get their revenge after losing their senior night by upsetting the Cougars on the Cougars senior night, and the Cougars fall 3-1 and lose the last set 25-18. I'm Conner Orr in the broadcast booth by Smith Slye. Thank you all so much for listening to our broadcast here tonight. That KUGR radio. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all in the next one.